looking at me, handsome as ever, and cute as could be. You can watch us on YouTube with viewing for French. This one time for the Twitch, this one time for the text, this one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop your quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Leroy, true to form, starting the show crunching and going out of it. That's something, dude.
Well, I didn't know when we were starting.
I don't hear him. We got him in programs, right? No, we're still working through that. That is right. He is not in studio. All right. Well, good morning to everybody out there, and it's good to have everybody rocking with us. We're rocking through some computer stuff on the other side of the glass, trying to get this all situated so Leroy and I can talk to one another. But we got ourselves a fun night tonight as the Miami Heat will be back on the hardwood, taking on the Golden State Warriors. Leroy, are you excited for this one?
I am.
Very cool.
I'm more excited for you to show up at the arena and be a phony.
How so?
You know how.
Because you want me to boo Jimmy Butler.
Hi, Jimmy. Hi, glad you're back, Jimmy.
I'm not going to act like that. I didn't act like that last time. Why would I act like it this time?
Because you know.
No, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Wait,
why do you mischaracterize?
If you guys make eye contact, you'll melt.
No, that's not true. Last time you winked at me, and I was like, Bam's not looking at you, dude. Sorry. Move it along. Move it along, Jimbo. Move it along. I don't think Steph is playing. For sure. It sounds like Steph Curry's not playing. He tweaked his ankle last night. They lost to the Orlando Magic. And I don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to play. I don't know. I don't think he has anything wrong with him, but he said he's going to wake up and see how he feels. So we'll see how he feels.
Wait.
We'll see how he feels.
We already know.
We'll see how he feels, you know?
Contrary to popular belief, the people down here in Miami are familiar with his work.
Yeah.
So, like, Jimmy has never said, I'm going to see how I feel in the morning and say, I feel great, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Nope.
He just said, look, all he did was throw a little bird feed out there, and then all the birds are going to come and eat the feed, and he's going to be sitting on the bench.
Well, they lost last night. They lost to the Magic. They both had Steph and him had 30, and it wasn't enough. The Magic got the win. And so, yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, the thing is, it feels like the writing has been on the wall for this game. Like, it feels like the Warriors have been planning to sit out this game for about a week, because we talked last week about ESPN dumping the game, and then we looked at the Warriors schedule and we're like, that they got to have a nod on it, because obviously you got to play. I think there's different rules for nationally televised games on rest,
right? And
so it felt like the Warriors gave a little looky, like called up the league office and was like, hey, you might want to dump this game because we're not playing some of our guys. They're for sure. It sounds like for sure Steph's not playing. I mean, I don't have an injury
back to back. This is what I was talking about earlier in the week, that they're either going to sit last night or sit tonight. But I have a hard time believing that 30-plus-year-old Steph and 30-plus-year-old Jimmy are going to play back-to-backs at this juncture in the season. So,
and this kind of goes to and then Steve Kerr, he goes on KNBR this week. I think that's the channel, 95.7 The Game. In San Francisco, and he like specifically mentioned the Miami game about like, oh, I've never had a start to the schedule like this, so many road games. I'm like, oh, here comes Steve Kerr. And then he's like yesterday waxing poetic because there's a lot of injuries right now. Wembanyama's sitting out 2 weeks with the calf strain. Giannis is out with a groin strain. All these guys are out. It's like the number one. Hey, shocking. You know what sucks is like the NBA had such a great start to the season, and you get right before Thanksgiving, and it's like, here we go, everybody's out.
But ironically, think about this. Now, I'm going to always leave an exception to this. and that's legitimate injuries or ankle twists from stepping on something, because it happens to basketball players a lot. But if you look at the Heat, they've been pretty healthy, and they worked like dogs in the preseason.
They did.
And so maybe there's something to that.
Maybe there is. I mean, the only guy. I mean, Tyler got hurt, but Tyler was a preseason.
Well, he was
injury,
already. It was a
and
deformed.
that's the thing going back to last year.
Correct.
And then Bam never gets hurt, and he finally got like a toe thing, and Bam is back probably sooner than a lot of guys get back from the toe. But it sounds like he's going to be back tonight. So
right.
I don't know. Look, the Heat threw a lot of cold water on the drama yesterday. We'll hear from some of the parties about like, even Spo was like, how many games we got to play for this to be a thing? Right. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know. I feel like it's always going to be somewhat of a storyline just because of how dramatically it ended. But I also think that these just feel like very different this feels like a very different chapter than last year does, when you're dealing with all of it. You're trying to still make the playoffs. The Heat just feel like they have a whole new identity this year.
They just they moved on.
Yeah.
And they don't okay, he was a Heat player. Great when he was here. He's not anymore. Then, okay, we move on. We're a different team now because we don't have the ball hog with us.
Do you think that if do you think most fans there tonight, if only one could play, would it be Steph or Jimmy?
Steph.
Do most people want to see Steph, or do more people want the revenge game against Jimmy?
Because Steph is the only person that people go to watch home run derby.
Oh my God.
Before a game. They go watch his warm up.
It's amazing. No, it's such a fun watch.
So from that standpoint, I would say Steph. The petty in everyone, they probably have their chants ready. They probably have, all the stuff that they're going to do when Jimmy gets to the foul line. There's that. But when you bought tickets for this game, or people that are going to the game, they're not going to see Jimmy. They're going to see Steph. And so, yeah, I would say Steph, because 30 points from Steph is it just looks so much different than 30 points from Jimmy.
Well, that gets going tonight. You of course can hear that right here on FM 104.3 WQAM. Our coverage here begins at 6:15 with preheat, and 7:30 is your tip off from the Kaseya Center. I'll be boots on the ground for that one.
Oh yeah, you will.
I will. You will. I would be boots on the ground either way, anyway.
Okay, I understand.
You always think I'm up.
Let me tell you.
Always think I'm up to chicanery.
Where did I get that from?
Don't know. Hello, Vlad.
Hi.
Good to see you,
hey, Vlad, that train got you?
That Gratney.
Dog.
The Gratney.
Gratney was the worst this morning.
Oh, you know what it is? When you start off really good, and then you get to 57th, and then it's nothing but trucks.
Not even. It was 75.
Really? Backed up that?
Yeah. And then 75. Once you got past the 186, everything was good. And then where you, like you said, 50. Once you got to 57th Avenue.
Yeah, because all the trucks are going to the corporate parks, the parks over there, the industrial parks, and that light right there. Once you get past that light, you're good because it opens up a couple of more lanes. But these trucks have to bow out. So now you're almost accident on the right lane. The way they have to bow out, make a turn, and it just takes forever because there's so many trucks.
Well, we'll take a break, get into all kinds of shenanigans here today on the show. We're back after this. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Oh my God, they just released these Panthers Winter Classic jerseys just now, Leroy. Oh, JFig, can you get some of these? They look incredible. They look incredible. Wow.
Are they going like Miami Vice?
No, they're going like vintage Panthers, but like with a twist. Like they're trying to almost make them look even more vintage than the old jerseys looked because they're playing the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
They look sick. They look sick. They look really. I totally forgot we had the Winter Classic this year. I can't wait for that.
Isn't it in Lone Depot?
Yeah, I was about to call it Marlins Park for it. Yeah, Lone Depot.
Okay.
That's a cool. Oh man, how you think? I wonder how much tickets are going for that. I want to go to that. I would love to go to the Winter Classic, dude.
I mean, you could ask the station, but
No, we could.
you could ask.
I could ask, but it was the Winter Classic. I went to the Winter Classic one time at Yankee Stadium.
I know you.
Yes,
You went with Joy and
The coldest
Zaz.
I haven't been to many cold weather games. Coldest game I've ever been to. It was terrible.
Well, it's outside.
It's outside, but you know they always talk about those Yankee Stadium winds, Vlad. Woo, really bad in the winter. Really
I
bad.
mean,
Because we were sitting in the upper deck.
I have zero desire to sit in a stadium and watch a football game when it's freezing cold. When I wasn't that fond of doing it when I was playing. Now, I did it.
Wow. Look at
Whoa.
those. I like those a lot.
That's like old school.
Woo!
That's a scary panther.
I like that panther.
Yeah.
I think I like that more than our actual panther.
That's a scary panther.
I love
Yeah.
that. I need like any Winter Classic swag. I'm about to go spend so much money at the Panther store.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That panther,
I
Yeah.
like that panther.
he's filthy.
Wow. He is filthy. You filthy little cat.
We do. That team does have the angriest mascot, right? Because
It
everybody
used
else
to.
has like a Dolphins, Heat.
Well, that's why I miss the. You always think it's stupid the Dolphin wears a helmet on a helmet, but I like that the old Dolphin had some attitude to him. You know, this new Dolphin, he's like,
Dude,
the Dolphins
when does a dolphin ever kick some ass? I
Dude,
know they're very
dolphins are
smart.
vicious, very vicious creatures,
They're very smart, right?
and horny.
Okay. That's why they always look so happy around those boats.
Shlomo wants to get in here. Hello, Shlomo.
Hey, what's going on, brothers? How you guys doing?
Good, buddy. What's
Good,
going on?
good.
All right, you guys are the coolest people. I've been following you my whole life, and always have a great smile, good sense of humor. You know, the Miami, Florida community is very lucky to have you guys to soothe our suffering together as Dolphins fans.
You're too kind, Shlomo.
Too kind.
Yeah, so I'm 25. I've been hearing you guys since I've been 8 and 10 years old. You know, different places in the car, put a smile on my face. So I love the Dolphins to pieces. We had season tickets for a little bit, but I truly believe very strong that we're so close to being very good. We can be very good. We need some major/minor tweaks. In my opinion, I think Mike McDaniel is a brilliant play caller. However, he cannot be the head coach. He makes bad decisions. In my opinion, he's delusional when it comes to play calling. And he's signing Tua to a massive contract when you could have just waited and signed us, and now we're in debt, and Tua's injury prone. So he would be a great play caller, but not a good coach. And what we need to do, Colin Cowherd said that we can potentially get this good coach from college. What's his name again?
I don't know,
Mendoza.
you talking about
I
the
think
Indiana
so.
coach?
He's
Oh,
in
the
college.
coach.
College coach. Colin said that.
Oh, he's talking about Ole Miss coach.
Oh,
Lane
Kiffin?
Kiffin.
Exactly right. So if he's somehow a way to do it, he'll come in, make solid decisions. That's just an example. So that's one idea when it comes to a coach. Next is that I really believe it was the biggest and best thing. I couldn't believe that Ross got rid of Greer. I thought that was a miracle because Greer was anytime we have a good player, you have to get rid of him, destroy the team. Greer was the worst thing ever. But now that we got rid of Greer, we can really be good. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that we place into our system, I think can take us because we're so good. Tyreek Hill, for an example, right now there's two quarterbacks. There's Purdy and who's the other guy? Who's the quarterback? Who's the other guy? And Mac Jones, right?
Yes.
So they can't have both of them. I mean, maybe they want to keep both of them, but if we make them a solid trade offer, we'll give you two and we'll give you some.
Whoa. Hold on. First of all, let me just say this.
All right, Shlomo. Thanks for the call, Shlomo.
Pump your brakes on Mac Jones.
Mac Jones has been good this year.
Why did you put him on?
I'm not, but
He's very nice to me off the air. He's like, I just had a Dolphins take.
Understand
I didn't think it was going to be a whole segment.
Understand this.
I was going to be in and out, Vlad.
Okay. If you see a guy have a good stretch,
very nice man, though,
and then you go out and give him money and trade for him just based on that stretch, is your organization any better? Because you're still making bad decisions.
So you're saying if you give a lot of money to Mac, I mean, they're not going to give a lot of money to anybody.
No, they're not. No, I understand that. But even if you bring him in, here's the problem. Here's the problem. I would venture on to say this, that Mike McDaniel is great at creating plays and his, ingenuity on how he creates mismatches and moves guys around. However, his play calling and when he calls those, I've had a big question with that.
Yeah, he lives in Too Cuteville.
Right. So from that standpoint, I would say my man is 100%.
He's the mayor of Too Cuteville.
I like that. I like Too Cute.
That's where he lives, dude. He's like, should I run the football, man, or should I do some more bubbles?
Oh, yeah.
Too cute.
So the other thing is that you have to be careful with everybody just names a coach without understanding the circumstances or the things that you're going to have around that coach. So if you hire a veteran coach, he's going to want all the power.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want to and the first thing he's going to do is clean house to all the knuckleheads or whatever. So you're going to go way back. Now, I say this, and I believe this is going to happen. Mike McDaniel is the best thing that Tua has, and Tua is the best thing Mike has at this moment. Tua's going to be here another year. Don't get rid of the guy that has helped him have this most success.
You would agree, though, the thing that I will say, the one thing that has changed about Mike over the last, couple of games that have gone better, it feels like he's given the team to Achane. It doesn't feel like Tua's team. That's the
right.
thing that they're not relying on. They're not trying to ask Tua to go out there and win them games. They're asking. They finally stumbled upon the realization after halfway through the season, he's not having a very good year. The guy we got to rely on is the best player on the team.
But here's the deal with that. And people need it. That changes from week to week. How you have to win games changes from week to week.
Well,
so if you go in the next week, you best believe that you might have to use somebody else or devise some different plays because they're going to go into a game saying, stop Waddle, stop Achane.
No, that's exactly how you become mayor of Too Cuteville. When you change from week to week, when you say, what we should try and win a game with this week? Taj Washington. And then he yaks at football.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that going into every week to say this is what we're going to do, you're still going to have situations where Tua is going to have to be the guy because they might devise a plan to slow Achane down. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you get too cute because you figure they're going to find something to stop. Until they stop it, you keep doing it. That's good football right there. Maybe you're doing something. Maybe you're doing something that is so good that nobody has found a way to stop it. But don't change it before you find that out. That's what I get on Mike about.
but you also, I'm sure there has to be a realization that I mean, like, look, it smacked him right in the face. This isn't like something that it could be ignored. Tua for years, his thing was, accuracy, taking care of the football. Yeah, he didn't throw a stinker interception every now and then, but I mean, like now he's among the league leaders.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying that arm punt thing. That came around like the one game. Like he's thrown disaster balls all season.
Right. And
I do think that Mike McDaniel got to a point, and you could even hear it between them, like the snippiness, like he's right. I'm relying more. Like he's finally maybe going back to what he was originally, which was a run game coordinator, and he's like, I'm just gonna go with Devon Achane, Ollie Gordon. Looks like he's stepping up. The offensive line has been cohesive. Like they finally gotten a lot of games together.
Yeah.
So I don't look at this as Tua's team right now. Like
it's not a matter.
I think it's had less of his identity on it over the last month than it probably has in a while.
I'm not saying that it's not Tua's team or it is Tua's team. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you have a recipe for success right now, but at some point that could change and more success is going to have to be had out of Tua. That's just the ebbs and flow of a season.
Right. But
right, you're not going to be able to do the same things every week all the time. You're just not.
But the thing that makes you mayor of Two Cutesville is you try and change it before people figure it out.
I told you that's my biggest problem with him.
Are they drinking Dr. Peppers at Two Cutesville?
I don't know what he drinks in Two Cutesville.
Is it next to Brian Bosworth?
I think you're having I feel like Two Cutesville, you're drinking Shirley Temples with umbrellas in them. That's what they drink in Two Cutesville.
Yeah.
That's what he's drinking, dude. Just that's it. He's just trying to get too cute with it. Like that's it.
Right. So like I get it. I get what everybody's saying. And to say and this kind of, where this kind of happened? In Philly. Because remember earlier in the year, they were doing everything they could to stop Saquon and say, you know what? We want your quarterback to beat us.
Right.
And they struggled a little bit because it almost seemed like they weren't prepared for that. You know what I mean? Or Jalen Hurts only works well when the run game's good and that play action is working. So, like, they're having the same problem there. So,
which is making their star receiver furious.
Correct. Like, but it just you just have to. These are the ebbs and flows of the season. That every game you're not going to be able to run it like that, or you're not going to be able to get your star player open. Right? That's just the way it is. And so that means that more emphasis is going to have to move on other guys to excel that week.
Menu 631 says, I picture everyone in Two Cutesville drinking pina coladas. Out of the pineapple?
Yeah.
Out of
virgin.
The
virgin.
Oh, virgin and cute.
Yeah, virgin. Because it's too cute. Too cute. You ain't getting smashed. You're doing a little sippy drink.
Take a break. We're back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Get to a little thing we like to call 15 minutes of heat here for you. Brought to you by the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Get offers on select models for a limited time. Learn more at Lexus.com as the Heat take on the Warriors tonight.
Are they really the Warriors?
A lot of
And
quitting
Steph
posts tonight. No
and-
Kuminga either, right? Kuminga's been hurt. I don't know.
No Steph,
got no-
Jimmy, no Kuminga. So let me get this
No
straight.
Draymond either.
Let's just be clear. We don't know that. No, we don't know that everybody's out.
We know they're not.
There's
Draymond can't,
no other
Draymond
cause
can't play without the other two.
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's a known thing that if he does play, believe me when I tell you he's going to try and get kicked out. Like, it's a known thing. He's going to be gunning for 2 techs.
When they get down 20, and he
Who,
just like, I
Draymond?
had enough.
Draymond.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it's a NBA thing of like, if Steph doesn't play, Draymond looks for a way to get kicked out. So if he's the lone pony out there today, just keep an eye on that. Might be a lot of Moses Moody though.
Wait a minute. What's the line right now?
Good question.
He got to be like 7.5, 8.5 point favorite.
Heat are 6.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
6.5.
6.5 point favorites.
You know what's crazy? These lines scare me more than, it's like football. I'll always take a double digit unless you just absolutely putrid.
Right.
I will always take a double digit point spread in the NFL. Because there ain't really no team that's scoring at a clip to cover 12, 13 points every week. So,
but
huh?
It depends on how bad the team they're playing.
That's what I just said. I said unless the team is just putrid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There are some. I was wondering like the Heat, like when is our stinker run coming up? Like because the Heat have been having a pretty gnarly schedule to start the year, and I was like, oh, December.
Hey, guess what?
That's where
we talked about this before the season.
Yeah.
That man, they don't warm up. They hit the season running.
There's not that many bad teams in the NBA, man.
I don't know. Go look at the bottom of that East.
No,
Vlad.
I'm saying. Yes, the Wizards,
Wizards,
the
Brooklyn.
Hornets in Brooklyn. But those bad teams, those are already bad. Like we already know that.
Yeah, but
But I'm saying what the Heat have faced so far, 20 teams are competitive in the NBA. If 20 of the 30 teams are competitive, that means every night you play 66% of the time. You're facing somebody that's decent.
Yeah, but I was like when you looked at like the 76ers like rocket start to the season, I was like, what the hell's going on there? Like, are they really? And then you're like, oh no, they played the Wizards and the Nets the entire time, and now they've kind of come back to earth.
He said they played the Wizards and the Nets for the first month of the season.
Yeah,
Pistons are an 11-game winning streak.
dude, the Pistons are
The Pistons are good,
legit.
Right. But then why? Because we knew they were good last season, but who have they faced? They haven't really faced anybody of note.
Yeah, but I don't think like it doesn't
already.
feel fugazi. Like they feel like an ascension team. Like Jalen Duren, first of all, they have Cade Cunningham, who's incredible, right?
Right.
Duncan Robinson has like found like the perfect little home. Nobody's yelling at him. Now he's savvy vet dunks.
Well,
right?
he's back home. He went to Michigan.
Yeah, he is. But and then Jalen Duren's playing incredible for them.
You can't be that big, that strong, that young.
I know.
It's not fair.
No, dude.
We said that about LeBron. We said that about Shaq.
But this dude is like
He's
just nothing but muscles.
Yeah.
And you're like, you shouldn't be this athletic and you're actually skilled.
Well, you know who the last person we said that about? Joel Embiid.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, but Joel Embiid's always kind of had like lethargic run. Like anytime Joel Embiid
I see what you're
jumps,
saying. No,
this
quickness.
dude has flubber on his shoes, like the way he jumps. Remember Flubber, Robin Williams with the old Disney movie?
Sure.
I'll take my
the green flow. Yeah.
It's a very, it's a little bit of a dated
Oh,
reference.
all the movies that you could go to describe a
That's
man
how he
that
tested Flubber.
You went with Flubber.
That's how he
Minus
tested it,
one.
dude. He put it on
Thank
the
you,
bottom of
Vlad.
his
Thank you
shoes.
for bad reference.
Gotta get Mike Biamonte back in the lab before he retires.
Oh, yeah, before he retires, you got to get like a list of like drops.
He does it every year.
But
Yeah.
I know
I need a second round. We're working hard. We're working hard. So yeah, tonight I don't think Jimmy Butler's gonna play. I definitely don't think Steph's gonna play. Jimmy, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. You know,
It depends on what he did last night.
he had a
he
good
had 30.
he had a good game last night.
No.
They just lost.
No.
Oh, you talking about when?
no.
I got you.
Hey,
And I'm happy you brought that up.
hey, we normally on the same wavelength, and you just whoop.
No. Because I'm thinking, 45-minute flight. Does he go? Because
They're gonna get in at what? They get in about 11, 12.
They probably got home. They probably got in there by 11:30. They got to be South Florida by 11:30.
Mhm.
That's a quick one.
But here's my question, and this is a good question because you're talking to a former athlete. If you come to a city that you used to stay, or you might have residence, do you go straight to your home, or do you go to the hotel with the team?
Well, the problem is that you get on a bus, because with the flight, the buses are right by the plane, so you wouldn't be able to go. You would have to go from the hotel. You see what I'm saying? Because like usually when we fly in, the buses are right outside the plane. You get right on the buses and then leave. So it's not like you're going through the airport. In Minnesota, we went through a gate. But some places you just land and get on the bus right from there. Or they landed, so you know how they have the outside stairs and the buses are right there. So it's not, they try to avoid having you go through the terminal at all costs. But when I went back to Cleveland, I called my boys, hey, let's go get something to eat. But it's different in football because you got like bed check and stuff like that. What the NBA does is like we got the morning shoot around that'll keep you. But
yeah, they definitely aren't going to shoot around.
That's what I'm saying. So Jimmy went out last night. They went out.
Yeah.
They went out last night.
Yeah.
So except Steph. Steph probably took a nap.
Nah, Steph probably. Come on.
I would say they probably went to try to find something to eat. Right?
They're gonna find something to eat.
At 11:30, 12 in South Beach.
Yeah, you're gonna find something. Wynwood, South Beach, you can find something.
Well, Erik Spoelstra, before the Warriors game yesterday, he was asked about facing off against Jimmy Butler again. Here's what Coach Spo had to say on that.
Do you expect an emotional game, or you think since you've already played the Warriors and Jimmy and they came back?
I don't know. We'll be open to whatever it ends up being. But we already have done the game.
Right.
So how many games do we have to play, for not to be the big storyline?
I don't know.
Hey. I think he was accusing Ira of being lazy.
Of what? Just of pot stirring?
No. Just, when you don't really have any good questions, you can always go to the Jimmy angle.
It's a story. I mean, like, again,
with how this team is playing, how much different this team looks, how is the Jimmy thing still a big deal?
Is Jimmy a bigger deal than LeBron?
When LeBron came back.
The first LeBron game was on Christmas.
No,
it was a huge game. Danny Granger, your hero for life.
But you see what I'm saying? So
he dropped 30 in that night.
He was. I don't remember what the number was, but he buoyed that Christmas win, and it was a great time. A great time was had by all.
Leroy, nothing was going to be bigger than LeBron.
Right, but I'm just saying, like,
the Jimmy return last year was more hostile than LeBron's. LeBron's return was not his first game. The Heat gave a real tribute, not like a token tribute.
Right,
and he wasn't booed; he was cheered by Heat fans. Like
Jimmy
Butler. And the frostiness last year, the tension between Bam and him on the court, like pregame, nobody staring at it. The only person who said hello to him was Kevin Love and I think Terry Rozier. That was it. Everybody else like completely ignored him, which by the way is what half of what he did in the season in the pregame huddles.
Right.
Like he was like he didn't even want to look at anybody. So it wasn't undeserved frostiness. But the thing is right now is look, the Heat are playing well right now, and hot damn, they've really come out the other side on this trade pretty good.
Yes.
Like they not only got Davion Mitchell, who's been playing great for them, they not only have a comfortable Andrew Wiggins, but part of this trade was
say it again.
a comfortable Andrew Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you
But
love
the coup-
this,
but
you
the
love
coup-
this trade now.
Well, the coup de grace is trading Slow-Mo and Kevin Love for Norman Powell.
Yeah.
So this thing has turned into a pretty rosy deal for the Miami Heat. On top of it, you got Jaquez, which, by the way, I watched the G League last night.
Again?
Are you saying that as far as he played again last night, or you can't believe I'm actually wasting time watching the Sky Force?
Second time. No, I don't care. I know you're gonna watch Sky Force. Sky Force is okay. That's the G League affiliate. That's cool.
Yep.
It's when you watch the Euros
Right
in the summer, like in August.
Well,
that's just a little cuckoo.
The thing that's weird about the G League is it's got its own rules.
So do you get 10 fouls?
I don't remember how many fouls you get,
because I know in Summer League you get 10 fouls.
The thing is,
no, you can't foul out in Summer League.
This in Summer League, yeah. I think Summer League they've changed from can't foul out to 10 fouls. But the G League, they try some things where like
if you get 10 fouls, what that's called? Assault.
Well, here's what happened yesterday.
10 fouls.
So in the G League, you have one free throw for 2 points. They don't do 2 free throws. They're trying to move it along a little bit. So unless it's an and one. So like if you get fouled, they just do 1 shot for 2. That's the free throws because they're trying to move these games along. And by the way, it's probably a smart thing because these games are very high scoring, very little defense. Very little defense in the G League.
So then why, when these guys come here, they say you can get in when you play defense when dude ain't played a lick of defense all year?
I don't know, but they're not playing. I watched a game that got up to 154 the other day. Yesterday was much more competitive, but it was still 130 to 129. It was like these games are high scoring, dude. Not a lot of defense.
Chucking up
threes, willy-nilly to the basket. I don't think anybody. It's almost like nobody wants to look bad on defense. But that whatever they didn't have a first round pick this year. They got a first round pick. They got Jaquez. And so, yeah, I think the Heat have come out for having the screws put to them and Jimmy nuking every trade left and right. I do think the Heat came out pretty strong on the Jimmy Butler trade.
They did.
Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, Wiggins, and a first round pick for him. Damn, dude, that's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal for Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg and the crew to pull off.
Now can we be honest?
Well, of course.
Or can you be honest?
Sure.
You didn't have the same attitude last year.
Yeah, I know. But last year wasn't a good trade last year. Woo-hoo.
I mean,
bad year last year.
You know what's crazy about this? And Vlad, I'm going to tell you why I get annoyed by this. Because for the last 3 years, this dude has been telling me about January basketball and the push for the playoffs and all of this. Don't worry about it, baby. We'll get it done. We gonna playoff Jimmy. He turns it on when he comes in January.
That was loud, right?
Okay. But then these new guys come here, and Andrew Wiggins flies all the way across the country, and you call him a bum within a week. So what gives? He don't get no time? He ain't even been here.
What are you doing? Rerun shows today? Like, yeah, I get it. I was hard on Andrew Wiggins. Like,
well, because you
got anything else in the arsenal, dude? Like, I honestly, like, how many times are you gonna go back to this well?
You brought it up. You brought it up. You brought it up.
Listen,
I did not.
I will say this. Hey, listen, I'll tell you this on the Andrew Wiggins deal. Like, it's a nice part of the deal. Like, out of like the best part of the deal, like it's the lowest ranking of the deal.
Wait,
you know
what?
Out of Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, then it's Andrew Wiggins.
Time out.
What?
Norman
we don't
Powell.
have to time out. The show has to go on.
Norman Powell didn't come in until this season.
That's why it's a full trade now. Trade had to evolve. It's like a Pokemon.
Hey.
Oh man, no.
It's like a Pokemon,
No,
dude. It was at its first
You're
form.
not slithering your way out of this,
What do you
bro.
mean,
Hey,
dude?
I feel like I want to Pikachu you right
Yeah,
now.
dude.
Well, this nonsense you
Let's go.
talk.
You were wrong on your take on Andrew Wiggins, right? You can't say that he's the lowest of the trade. No,
For right now, he is.
no.
That's the lowest of a great trade. There's no shame.
I would say it's Powell, Wiggins, and then Davion.
But Powell,
Because Powell and Wiggins play the most minutes.
We're quibbling, but
Yeah.
you would agree that Powell is the top notch, and that this trade didn't fully become fruitful.
Yeah, but Wiggins was already here.
Yeah, I understand. I understand he was, but he wasn't as good as he was this year that he was last year.
Yeah, we discussed why last year. That's all I'm saying. All right. I love. Can I just tell you something?
Kind of weird though. It kind of feels like
no.
It kind of feels like you just got boxed in.
Hey,
it kind of feels like you just got boxed in.
No, I was just trying to end the conversation. But Vlad,
well,
how come every time we question what he said in the past versus the different things he's saying now, all he does is throw up one of them smoke bombs, boof, and go into the other room.
I haven't gone to the other room. The thing that's funny about it is I have an evolved thought on how the trade has worked out since they've got Norman Powell with it and how the team is clicking together. And you want to bring up stuff about Andrew Wiggins from last year that wasn't wrong. It was actually true. And now he's more comfortable. He's playing better in a better role this year, which, by the way, he's not being looked upon to be Jimmy Butler last year. He's like the fourth option on this team now. So how do you look at that as the same? It's not.
Okay.
Like, if you don't look at it as a different situation, I don't know what to tell you.
So what you're trying to say is that you've taken the time to look at the trade in full.
Yes.
Instead of how you were reacting when the trade happened.
Yes.
Oh,
what you mean? Like,
so
I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys know this in sports. You're gonna have very emotional reactions to big emotional moments, and then things can kind of, when you have more information, your opinion can evolve on things. I didn't know if that was against the rules. I apologize.
Okay. I'm just happy that you're saying
it's kind of like
you went all out and tobed out.
Yep, and none of it wrong, by the way.
See,
none of it wrong.
At that time, or
no?
At that time,
nope.
You weren't wrong.
Just never wrong. Just early. This guy. Never wrong. Everything that I've said about last year has come into fruition and true. He's more comfortable. By the way, Erik Spoelstra completely revamped what was a different team last year. So you can't look at last year. It's like looking back at another movie. The story's over.
But
now we're in a new.
But wasn't what Leroy was telling you was give it some time?
No. All he was saying was, like, I was like, listen, it's a tough thing. I get it, but oh well. Now, comfortable. We're all happy, but he wants to keep bringing old stuff. It's not evolved. It's old. It's over. And you just want to keep going back to the Andrew Wiggins thing from last February.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Take a break. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2. Get to our headlines this hour, brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. The Heat will be back in action tonight, taking on the Warriors at 7:30. We'll keep an eye on the actives and actives.
You ain't got to. You know what's up.
Yeah, sounds like
you
know
sit
what's
there
up.
trying to say we gonna give you a head. We familiar with his work.
And isn't this the last game of their road trip?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they done.
I think they got the. I think ESPN got the nod last week. They're like,
Yeah, it just seemed too.
Because when does ESPN bow out of a Steph Curry game, right?
Never.
Like never.
Not for Cleveland.
It's and then you have the Jimmy storyline. Like they probably got, because Steve Kerr's been on this whole tour this week. Oh, the hardest schedule ever. Boo. All right, dude. Whatever. But somebody asked in the chat, they say, "Hey, is this a don't lose?" It's absolutely a don't lose for the Heat if nobody plays. Absolutely, got to take care of business. Dude.
I'm more terrified. I'm more terrified when the stars aren't playing, because those guys on the bench trying to get theirs.
For sure.
They may not be as good, but you're gonna get a whole bunch of energy.
Time out. Hold on.
What's up?
You follow a team.
Mhm.
You're a fan of a team that is notorious when they had the big three and the big three sat out, how the other 12, the little 12, loved that opportunity.
Yep.
So remember when
Yeah, like how many games were there like that, Vlad? Like 2? You can remember like the Chris Bosh game in San Antonio and the Chris Bosh game in Atlanta. Like it never happened. I love when they harken back on this stuff on podcasts. Like they act like it happened all the time.
which is
LeBron was one of the most durable players in the league. And by the way, Dwayne Wade missed like 6 games back then, because they make it seem like Dwayne Wade was playing 50 games every year. It was almost like clutching your pearls if he missed like half a dozen. The only year that he missed like a good amount was the final year, because that was the real year they were maintenance programming him. And he didn't miss it. I think he missed 1 playoff game in his stint with the big three. Now it's like, oh man, they would look at it like Dwayne Wade like he's crazy these days for how many games he played. You look at Dwayne Wade like he was Mr. Durable back then.
Yeah, that's
really
crazy. Everybody used to panic. He missed 5 games all year.
Yeah. Popovich was the one though. Like, oh, he was the one thumbing his nose. He was like mocking it. He goes, rest.
Old. Remember you said that? Old.
Yeah, old. So we'll see what's what. So Shedeur's officially starting. Did you get that word, Vlad? I saw you put that in the chat.
Yeah, because Dylan's still in concussion protocol. Yeah, listen, I gotta tell you.
Yeah, Chef D now.
I'm about to have a conversation in a few minutes.
You gonna enjoy that?
And I told him last week, he's not playing because he's not ready. There's a certain, and I was, and a lot of these comments I make come from my own experience. And here's what I was told as a rookie by a coach that wanted to see me do well. He said, I know you can play. He said, but if you don't show your teammates and your coaches that you're putting in the work during the week or the offseason, they're not going to have confidence that you're going to be able to go in there and do it. And so it's almost like you have to look the part.
So when you had that conversation, was that because you were like a gamer? You didn't go all out because of how hard you ran? Like why was that a conversation that was had?
Because of like my preparation habits. Like it's one thing. It's one thing to go in a game and be able to play, but if you ain't doing all the other stuff, you're not getting the opportunities that you should be getting because they aren't sure that you know what you're doing.
Can I go back to another question about the clubhouse?
Sure.
Was it like a baseball clubhouse? Like, did you have snacks all over the place? Like, how many snacks could you get?
No, we had a lunchroom.
But like, what about just candy? Like, I always hear about like in NBA locker rooms, there's a ton of candy. Guys can just get sweets.
Gum. Yeah, there's gum. There's gum. Yeah, but not a whole bunch of candy.
You just made the rookies go get it?
Shoot.
I know you had to do it with. I remember
that was the worst, dude.
Don't forget that syrup.
Yeah. So like it's kind of, it's kind of one of those things where if they don't see your preparation or your work, they have no confidence that you know what you're doing. And when I watch Dillon Gabriel and I watch Shedeur, Dillon Gabriel may not be a better quarterback than Shedeur. Okay. But when he plays the game, he looks the part. And when Shedeur plays the game and starts running backwards, it looks like he did no preparation. Mm-hmm. So if I'm a coach and I'm seeing this, regardless of how good I think Shedeur is, I can't play him. And guess what? He had to go in and play. And think about this. All the backup quarterbacks that you've heard, all the quarterbacks that have sat, what is the one common thing they all said? Well, I'm going to prepare like I'm playing because you never know when that opportunity is going to come. You think Shedeur was doing that?
It didn't look like it.
Right. You can tell right away because soon as he got traffic around his arms or around his legs or somebody swung an arm, he started running.
I do want him to have a good outing, though. Like, I think that's
I want him to be able to.
The cool thing about it would be if he was good. Like, I don't want this to turn into he embarrasses himself every time.
But here's the deal: if he hasn't done none of the preparation before now, none of the work to show that, yeah, I'm in this. I'm trying to get in the game. If he hasn't done any of that now, up to this point, what do you think 1 week of work is going to do?
Yeah, I imagine it's not enough. I'd imagine it's not enough. I'm a little surprised by it, though. Like, I would feel like if your father was like this all-time athlete and then was such a great coach in college, or at least, seemed like he had you humming along, I guess I would feel like the habits would be a lot better. I feel like the example would be a lot better for him not to have that. You would feel like he'd have the blueprint more than anybody.
I would say this. And here's how I put Deion in the same conversation with LT from this standpoint.
Oh.
Those are two guys I knew in my career, in my life, that could show up and dominate, and it didn't matter what they did Monday through Saturday. So because he was so athletically gifted, some of the things that he could get away with are not what Shedeur can get away with.
Sure, but I would think like he's got to know that you ain't me. So like I would feel like as a guy who runs in a pro, like it's not just that he was a great athlete, like he's been a successful college coach. Mm-hmm. So I would feel like he would know what the habits have to be. But look,
yeah,
it's been a weird. We can all agree it's been a weird situation from jump, just because like even him getting drafted to that team seemed weird because it's like, well, you picked your quarterback who was young. Why did you pick him? Like you knew this was going to be a storyline, and that's where everybody has these theories of like, did Stefanski even want him? Was this an ownership? Because we know the ownership pushed Manziel on them before. We know the ownership dropped the Deshaun stuff in there. So like, I don't know. Like it almost feels like did Haslam say no? We're gonna take him too because we're gonna figure this thing out.
I would say this is that again, this has nothing to do with who's better. But at this juncture in their career, Dillon Gabriel throws the ball terribly, but he knows where to throw it. He steps up in the pocket and throws it. You understand what I'm saying? And in order to get to the point of where you can show your abilities, you have to first get to the part where you know where to throw it, how to throw it, and how to get your team in the right situations. So if you can't do those things, nobody cares how talented you are because you're never going to be in the right situation.
The Panthers are off today. They're back at it tomorrow against New Jersey, who's having a really good season. We showed earlier, this was the Panthers released their Winter Classic jerseys.
Ooh, I don't remember them ever wearing them socks.
Though they're making it like
Okay.
They're making it they're hamming it up for extra vintage, you know?
Okay.
Like that's not a jersey of the Panthers. It's mostly of what the old Panthers jersey looked like, with a little crossbreed with those Bumblebee Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys.
Right. Ooh. So where do you think, did they do this indoors and made it look outdoors?
Yeah, dude. I think that was at media day. We were probably there. Like that was probably what they were shooting on when the lightning was going off behind us.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
would
no,
think.
they were, or because we couldn't see. No, we could see in there. If they were doing these pictures, they wasn't going to show us.
They probably did it another day.
Yeah, I got you.
But I am curious, man. We need this to work. All right. We already know that Canada's mad at us, right? We can't have puddles out there on the rink for our Miami game. You guys better lock it up.
There's a roof.
I understand. How cold can they make it in there?
It's a roof. It's almost like a freezer underneath the like they bring the rink in.
Yeah, the rink.
And the ice is on like a freezer, basically, and it keeps the ice frozen.
Mm.
The only thing that you have to make sure, because here's what's happened in the past, the sun has melted the ice. So they're probably going to close the door to keep the sun out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. For the Winter Classic, does it have to be outdoors? Like, do they have to open the roof, or we get it?
It looks better.
It does look better.
Could you imagine being in sunny South Florida with it?
I mean, I love it, but it's not really going to be open.
We just moved
Maybe
into
it
a
depends.
baseball stadium.
I'm wondering what is the cutoff temperature?
I don't know.
But it better not be like 85 degrees.
Dude, Wayne Gretzky doesn't whine about anything. He whines about the Panthers ice all the time during the playoffs. He goes, "It's so humid outside this ice. Look at that puck bouncing off his." Shut up, Wayne Gretzky.
It is Wayne Gretzky. Talk about hockey.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna give you a -1 for that.
Yeah.
1.
All right, we'll take a break. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Leroy's gone off to hobnob with Jay Crawford. Cleveland.
Oh, don't get jealous.
Of course I'm jealous.
He still loves you.
Hobnobs with this Jay Crawford. Oh, Leroy.
It's a big news.
I was on cold pizza. Ooh, Cleveland. Good for you guys. Enjoy your Cleveland. Dude,
Did anybody ever ask him how does he feel that cold pizza ended up becoming first take?
I don't know. Because he left that show.
Right.
It was him and Dana Jacobson, right?
Right. And Dana
And then
went
they
to
both
CBS.
Dana went to CBS, and then he just became main Sports Center guy. I felt like, right? Like that's kind of how it went. And then Skip and Stephen A. kind of took over the reins.
Yeah.
But it used to be he hosted the show with Dana Jacobson, and then they would send it over to Skip and Woody Page for a little bit. That's all I remember about cold pizza. That's my list. You know what? It is good that he's here though, Vlad, because I think we can talk about something because I know he won't get into this because this guy he loves this guy.
Oh, let's get into it. What is it?
You see this Bill Belichick? These photos have gotten out.
No, wait. Of him doing what?
He was apparently in Raleigh. This is from somebody named Adam Kessel. Bill Belichick spotted at a cheerleading competition in Raleigh supporting his girlfriend Jordon, who is a member of a co-ed adult cheerleading team.
I'm not putting it on him. I think it's something weird for a grown woman to be in an adult cheerleading team.
Dude, that was my first reaction.
That's my first reaction. Not to say that, you can do anything you want. But to me, if you're like in your mid-20s, late 20s, and you're still cheerleading,
I mean, people play softball. They'll play pickup basketball. I mean,
that's cool.
I guess.
It's rec. It's whatever. But adult cheerleading?
Usually as a cheerleader, I mean, my daughter was into competitive cheerleading for a little while, and it's a crazy scene. I mean, it's
like pageant mom.
I've been to many a cheerleading competition, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But, I don't have a problem with Bill Belichick being a supportive boyfriend at 73 years old.
Wait. Are we sure he wasn't just there to go support his granddaughter or something like that? Maybe his granddaughter was cheerleading. We sure it was.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't think so. I think he's there. You can see him in the background. That's her uniforms. That's the team. I think he's there to support her. She's probably thinking to himself, I support the Tar Heels. You're going to support me and me cheerleading. The thing is with cheerleaders, though, is
JFig confirmed she was competing. Oh, my God.
Wow. All right. Well, I know she's into pageants, right? That's a thing with her. She used to be Miss Maine or something like that.
Yeah, but ugh.
But Bill Belichick, he's got to be so tired. He's got to be so tired. We're sitting here where he's just you want me to go to what? Cheerleading competition. I'm dialing it up. But he looks so tired and cranky. Just I can't believe this is where I'm at. I love the MC there with the suit, by the way.
Oh, no, that's a nice blue velvet.
That's very blue velvet.
That looks like it's velvet.
That is excellent. But man,
I like the jacket, but geez.
You think Bill Belichick gave him a pregame speech?
Look at these male cheerleaders. They look like they're 40.
Yeah. Yeah, the
guy on the right looks like he has 3 kids.
He might. Crazy. I didn't even know they had adult division.
I did not know that either.
Because I always thought cheerleading was gymnastics, because Simone Biles is what Simone Biles is 28.
Let me check.
And the idea that she could keep cheerleading is crazy. It's almost like you'd have,
gymnastics.
In gymnastics. Yeah, the idea that you could keep doing gymnastics is crazy. That you're like a fossil at that age. And that's not
28, yes.
And that's not old. Anybody competing, if she wanted to do another Olympics, any other sport, it would feel that's fine. But it's almost crazy talk.
Tobin, yes, you're right. I put these sports in the category of figure skating, even tennis, to the point where you start young, you compete when you're young, but there's a certain limit or a certain time when it's okay, you might be past your prime. I would think cheerleading, there's probably a limit where it's okay, let's leave it for the younger generation.
You would think, because
not this picture.
Usually at that age, you're teaching cheerleading. You're not doing cheerleading. These are what the ages of my daughter's coaches were. Bill Belichick's I gotta go to what? And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the old. The old don't like loud noise, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. As a cheer dad, a former cheer dad, few things have made me crazier than listening to the cheerleading mixtape because they all sound the same.
Oh, there's a mixtape?
Oh, dude, they all, and it's all, but they don't sound like the actual song. It's like, and then it's like I'll mix in some popular song like shake it off, and then flip, kick by the ocean. It's like, and it's just, it's like that. Everybody has the same 2-minute routine. Remember? Did you remember the great movie Bring It On?
Well, that's funny how you said that because I'm typing it in. I think there might be another one coming out very soon. So I'm thinking maybe this is why the reason why there might be a. I didn't know there was a, adult cheerleading, and maybe it's the new.
Well, for those
trend,
for those who don't remember the plot of Bring It On, there was a very suburban cheer squad that would win all the competitions, but they would steal all of their routines from a black high school, the Clovers, which of course their captain was Gabrielle Union, and they would kick ass. And then they finally got word that there was a mole because they got money to go to these competitions. So their cover was going to be blown. So they knew they couldn't steal the Clovers stuff this time around at the next competition. So they ended up having to hire this guy who was like the cheerleading guru with his spirit fingers. And the problem was this guy had a ruse, Vlad, where he would sell the routine to the same routine to multiple intangible schools. So the problem was when
that was great. That was a genius move.
It was a great move by him. So the Toros, they go to this competition. The Clovers get to go first. They get to do their obvious awesome routine. They smoke everybody. And then the school before the Toros get to go, they go on before them. And they do the routine that the Toros were about to do, that this cheer choreographer sold to them. Their cover was blown, so they had to do the same routine. It was match for match, and they only reason they got the bid to nationals, I believe, was because they were the defending champions.
Why does every dance or cheerleading movie have the same plot where somebody steals somebody's dance movie?
I mean, it's like stealing the plays. It was original Spygate.
So yeah, so I feel bad for Bill. Like you said, it looks like he'd rather be home taking a nap than watching grown adults do cheers. I'm sorry, I can't see no 40-year-old man doing all of this. And come on, man, come on.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna get bothered very much there, do you?
He's gonna get. Well, I don't know. You don't
know. The cheer dads are probably gonna ask him for selfies. Or do you think he's on the? You think he's a
time out. We're talking about grown adults here that are cheerleading.
Well, I gotta imagine. I see kids there.
Or cheer husband.
Well, I see kids there in front, so I'm sure there are all age groups. I'm imagining because the way it works at cheer company, you'll do from like now I've never seen adults, but you'll do from like 6-7-year-olds to all the way up to probably high school. I've never seen adults. That's pretty crazy. No, I mean, no shit. Like, whatever. I mean, I guess it's like a softball.
Are you sure those are kids or that's not grown people?
I think the ones in pink are kids. That looks like that doesn't look like an adult. I don't know. I can't really tell.
I don't know. Y'all age different.
Cannot confirm or deny. Anyway, take a break. Mix things up on the other side. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Taking you guys up until 2. Got a pair of tickets to give away to Heat Mavericks for next Monday. So keep on listening for that. We'll give that away. I want to let you guys know, college football fans, you guys can come see the College Football Championship Trophy. You guys just got to stop by the Publix at 5950 Coral Ridge Drive in Coral Springs. It is there from noon to 2 today.
Oh, nice.
Fans of all ages are invited. You guys can join Hollywood from the Joe Rose Show. But if you guys want to check that out, noon to 2 today at the Publix at 5950 Coral Ridge Drive in Coral Springs to see the National Championship Trophy and share the excitement and pride of the college football before the national championship is here and is here for this special limited appearance. Again, that's going on from noon to 2 today. Go join Hollywood from Joe Rose at 5950 Coral Ridge Drive in Coral Springs, that Publix. Check that on out. Let's head on over to the mixed bag as the Miami Heat getting ready for the Warriors tonight, but we know that the offense has been humming, and we know Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been having a really good season. Now, a couple of things the Heat are seeing, they're seeing a lot of zone, trying to slow down this offense. We saw a ton of that from the Knicks.
Which is funny because that's what they usually do to other teams.
Spo is notorious for using the zone defense, but now teams are trying to slow the Heat down, slow down that penetration to the rim, have them shoot a little bit more, slow them up a little bit. That's what Jaime Jaquez Jr. had to say about that adjustment.
That's a big-time sign of respect. I think that the steps that he's been making this year are going to be important, as teams start to put that second and third defender in front of him more often. And that step that I'm talking about is the playmaking and getting off the ball sometimes early, sometimes, getting in the paint, collapsing the defense, and making the appropriate play behind him. That's the play that's helping a lot.
Well,
wait. Did somebody just say stop playing with him?
Yeah.
Ask me to stop playing with him?
I think you might have been talking to Vladislav, but I'm not sure.
Because I heard Vlad stop playing with him. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Apologize, by the way. I misread that dyslexically. That was Erik Spoelstra talking about Jaime Jaquez Jr. facing the double teams, which he's nothing he's not used to. But Jaime feels like he's got a lot more confidence going about his game this year. So we'll see what's what tonight. LeBron James made his season debut yesterday. He's great, but old. Here's what he had to say.
Win was a little shaky to begin. Obviously, that was expected, but as the game went on, my win got a lot better. Caught my second win, caught my third win. Rhythm is still coming back, obviously. First game in quite a while, almost 7 months. So, everything that happened tonight was as expected. The pace, versus a team like Utah, play with a lot of pace, a lot of movement, a lot of cutting and things of that nature. Tested us, tested me, obviously. I was happy the way I was able to, keep up with the guys.
He's getting old, man. You know why you're getting old?
Why's that, dude?
When you're listening to R&B music in the background, you listen to Mario, Let Me Love You. Like you listen to songs from like 20 years, like 15, 20 years ago, you're getting old. Because the young guys, they're playing like, whatever the young music is coming out right now, But he's playing, Mario, Let Me Love You. He's probably drinking wine instead of, Gatorade or water.
He's tired.
He's old.
LeBron had 11 points, 12 assists in 30 minutes last night. Luka.
Oh, man.
Luka stuff, dude. 37 for Luka.
In shape Luka is just crazy, bro.
Lakers are good right now. 11-4 on the year. Austin Reeves, tangibles, 26 points. So Lakers are humming along there. Big news in the NBA landscape for Victor Wembanyama as he is injured. He's got a calf strain, although they're saying, listen, he says he feels fine.
I don't care what he says.
People are very nervous about these calf strains, and he's obviously the franchise. Got off to a great start this season, but you're like, hey, we're going to slow this down a little bit.
Yeah, you could sit down for a month. Relax.
Here's what Kendrick Perkins. He says he's nervous about Victor Wembanyama's injuries.
I do have a small concern for long term, right? Because history tells us what guys that are 7'4", 7'5", 7'6", how long is their careers have been, right? Like they don't have those 15, 16-year careers. It'd be more like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So when you think about a guy that's 7'7", and yes, he's something that we've never seen before, but again, he's still 7'7". So, anytime he gets injured, it definitely is in the back of my mind and everybody else's mind because of his body frame and his size and his height.
Not only that, but of course you had the blood clots last year, that were a concern. And I feel like, the thing that I thought of, Vlad, unfortunately, because Chris Bosh, I feel like the second time he got a blood clot, I felt like it was in the calf. So I got nervous about that.
Oh, and they have a similar frame and
I was hoping everything was okay because I don't want this, the thing that was a killer with Chris. Chris, felt great. He felt fine, but that was one thing that kind of came across my mind. I'm no doctor or nothing like that, but it's hard not to think about.
That'd be early in his career too.
Yeah. Yep. It would be, and obviously he's one of the best shows in the NBA. So even though Kalel is going to take that lunch money again next time he sees you, dude. So you better
shout out to the
rest up.
NBA, by the way, for just playing good basketball, and therefore it takes all the negative headlines that was starting to come up during the season, the beginning of the season.
You mean the Clippers?
I'm talking about
the gambling.
I'm talking about gambling. I'm talking about Terry, Chauncey, Damon Jones. I'm talking about all of that. You don't even hear it anymore mentioned.
Well, this is what they want. They want to sweep it under the rug.
Well, I mean, good play. We'll do that.
But that's the thing I was worried about because I feel like we got off to a great start to the season, and OKC is still balling. There is good basketball, but there are also you get the Giannis news, the Ja news. The Ja is probably one of the negative stories, but Ja, you got now Wembanyama, Zion.
Ooh.
You got a lot of guys starting to get banged up. It's good. LeBron came back. Jalen Brunson's going to come back. I think tomorrow or today.
Tonight, maybe.
Cool. But there have been a lot of that stuff. You're just like, and I know that's kind of Steve Kerr's the point that he's going on. Now, I don't know if he's laying the groundwork on trying to sit his guys, but he's like, listen, the pace is too much. And the pace is crazy. I mean, the pace is crazy.
Pace is crazy. You know who started that pace?
The
Warriors.
That's fair. You created this monster.
Pace in space, remember?
That is
pace
true.
In space. Ooh, no, we want a free-flowing game. Now your guys are old. Oh, it's too, no, it's too fast. Deal with it. By the way, did you see somebody mentioning that the Heat should trade Tyler Hero?
Who mentioned that?
Club 520, Jeff Teague.
I do like that podcast, even though he has some wild takes sometimes, Jeff Teague.
He did say.
Especially when it comes to Dwayne Wade, James Harden. But most of the time, I do like his takes.
He was mentioning that it might be time for the Heat to let go.
He said starting the year that he thought the Heat were going to be pretty good. So I'll give Jeff Teague credit. He was one of the lone voices out there. He thought the Heat were going to be a pretty decent team. Look, it's going to be a storyline. You can't ignore it. I just think that my whole thing with this season has been, I think it's a big intel season for the Heat. Let's see, because I don't think they really have anything other than Bam Adebayo. They're not really sunk into anything that long term. And so I think all of this year is let's figure what the moves are to make the next move. And if we could be decent along the way, great. They don't have and you figure that stuff out. But for this right now, I think we'll see what Tyler can do. I don't think he's going to be a detriment. The thing that sucks about it is I really like the way Davion Mitchell's playing, and it does feel like a big.
Oh, somebody's going to have to sit.
Someone's going to have to sit, and that's the thing. Like amongst,
it can't be Wiggy.
Would think not. And
it's definitely not Norman.
Definitely not Norman Powell. Definitely not going to be Bam.
Well, Bam's automatic.
Right, and it's definitely, and I don't know. Kalel's been playing great. I mean, I don't know how much Spo will continue to close with him, but it feels like if he keeps this up, you're going to want to have him out on the floor too.
It's going to have to be Davion, and I'll tell you why. He's the one that can deal with it better mentally than I think the other guys.
Because he's not as established?
I think he's not as established, but I think he's established, but he's a role guy. Like, he's established in his role. So he's a guy that you could put in and out, whether he's starting or he's coming off the bench. He knows what his role is. Khalil's playing well. And if he's starting and he's, that's going to be a confidence booster. It might, if he sits because he has to sit or because you got to put Tyler, I don't know, he's still young. So it might mess up his mentals. That's my thing. But yeah, it's probably gonna be Davion.
It's not that I don't understand the concerns. I get it with the Tyler Hero thing. I'm not saying I don't understand it. I just don't think it's a conclusion yet we can yet make. I'd like to see it first because I do think even in the last game against the Knicks, I've been like, man, there's times here I think you could have, especially the one that was in New York. I was like, there's been times here you could have liked to have Tyler Hero out there, But I understand it. Every time he goes out, it seems like the Heat does play pretty good. So he's gonna have, I think, and I think honestly, Vlad, I think that's probably part of the reason. I'm not saying that Tyler's not ready to come back, but I think that's part of the reason he wants to be 110 when he comes back, because I think he knows there's that pressure on this season. It's a big pressure season for him as well, not just for the extension, but even for the Heat looking at him being like, "Are we invested in you?"
That's what I was about to ask you. This team continues playing well without him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back. Could he be moved in February, considering that he doesn't have the extension yet? And this team is playing well. They've played well without him to start the season. Can they move on from him?
I think that the way Norman has played, I definitely think it's got to be something they've thought about.
And you can get something for him because if he goes into free agency and decides to sign with another team, you get nothing back.
Yeah, he's not a free agent until after next year.
Oh, after next year. Okay.
So that's why there's also no rush on the extension. Like you could do the extension this summer. You could honestly do it the next year if you wanted to.
But you don't want him to cause a stink.
You don't want him to cause a stink, and then you got to wonder like what the value is going to be, right? Like people are going to wonder like, all right, is he, like how much? What do you get for Tyler Hero? So all those questions are out there. Last one here, Jordyn Brooks. This is kind of cool. He revealed yesterday, in the locker room before I think everybody headed out to the bye week, that he's got a pretty good relationship with Dolphins legend Zach Thomas.
Yeah, I actually had a great conversation with him over the offseason. He gave me some great advice. We talked about a lot. I appreciate his advice. We keep in touch here and there. So he's been a guy that I've looked up to since I stepped day one at Texas Tech, and then obviously coming here. So anytime he reaches out, man, it makes my day. So like I said, he reached out over the offseason. We had a great conversation, gave me some great advice.
Both of them Texas Tech guys, now Miami Dolphins guys.
Oh, wait a minute. That means they're rooting heavy for their Red Raiders in the college football playoffs.
Would think so. Would think so. But Jordyn Brooks, 20 tackles this last game. 20 tackles for the Miami Dolphins. He got a game ball. So good for him. We'll take a break. Get you caught up with your headlines, including where the Miami Hurricanes, landed in the latest rankings and their matchup. Back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Hello, Leroy.
What's up?
Not much, man. Can we get a weather update brought to you by
Oh, you
Chill
sure
Zone
can.
AC? Featuring reliably rude AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com.
The weather is lovely here, but I tell you where it's frosty. Cleveland.
Frosty and feelings or actual weather?
Feelings.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Dude, you all right?
Did he
Nah,
hurt
that was I don't even know what it was. A piece of something fell off. We got it though. Oh, beautiful day again. Clear skies. I can't see nary a cloud anywhere. Winds are very light, 5 miles an hour, maybe gusting up to 10, but nothing serious. I can't give you a wind direction because my trees aren't moving and I can't see any planes. And I would say right now, I would say 75, 80 degrees. But other than that, another beautiful day. Folks, Florida weather is on a heater. Beautiful weather.
On a heater, but you don't need the heater.
That's right.
All right. It's 83 degrees in Miami.
It's 83?
Yeah, it's 77. It might be 77 or 80 in Broward and Davie. It feels like it's 85 degrees. It's a little bit warmer than it's supposed to be.
Oh, more humidity.
5 degrees above the average daily high. And the wind is blowing 8 miles per hour east.
Coming out of the east? Well, that would be why everything's picking up a little bit.
It says it's a perfectly clear view, the visibility.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the weather report.
There you go. Headlines are brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. Your Miami Hurricanes moved up to 13 in the college football rankings, up 2 spots after their win against the Wolfpack of NC State.
You know what that means?
Went out.
Anybody slip and you went out, you're in.
Yeah, that does appear where it is going. Paul Finebaum. I don't like having this guy as an ally.
You like being mad.
What?
Because that's the only reason why you would listen to him.
Everybody knows they cheated like bandits. Everybody knows I haven't.
But why do you put yourself through that? You're my guy.
I don't know.
I care about your well-being, and you go ahead on and put stuff. You go ahead on and put stuff in the air that makes you feel bad.
Do you look for anger?
Yes.
Do you no, Tobin, seriously. Like Leroy knows you better than anybody. Like he's right. And when he's pointed this out, I'm starting to see it. Do you look for anger? Do you look for fodder so you could be upset and then just go full Tobin?
I'm gonna give you. You want me to give you the basics? Paul Finebaum. Any rankings on players, especially in basketball.
Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons. And he'll look at 7 different player ratings until he get the one he want to be mad at.
Well, you know what the thing is
JJ Redick, JFig.
Oh, JJ Redick. I love that. I love that Chris Finch always has a special place in my heart. Here's the thing, though. You know, it's a lot like porn. You know, you had to used to really work for it. These kids don't know, and now it's just all in your algorithm. So, like, petty fodder just shows up at my doorstep these days.
Wait a minute.
No.
I'm telling you.
Telling me.
No, so you say Gronk just says, you know what? This will piss him off. Let's send it to him.
Not even that. He's trying to say this is like, you know, Skinamax back in the days where you like 11:30 and then you're looking.
Like,
you're looking, it might be fuzzy or something like that. You're looking like that's what he's doing. That's what he's saying when he makes
that is like that.
The porn reference. He's talking about like back in the days when you had the illegal box or you know what I'm saying? 11:30 midnight and then Manuel come on. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
Jennifer, go back. Tobin has a Petty Hub account.
Yes.
yes.
That's what it is. And so now it's become because everybody they're like, everybody is like is on the. It's like it's just so available on social media. It just shows up. So people either tag me on it or send it to it. So it just gets sent to me. I can't be held accountable if people are just throwing it. There's temptation everywhere. There's petty temptation everywhere.
You don't got to look for it, man.
I mean, I don't have to. They just throw it to me.
No, you look for it.
I'm telling you, Vlad, it just shows up.
Tobin, I think you'll be happy. Like, you know what? Today's a good day. I'm really happy. I need to get upset. Let me look at it.
Wait,
go to NBA.
This how it goes, Vlad. I'm gonna tell you how it goes. Dude, Jović. And another thing about this JJ Redick.
Yep.
Like you just got like.
Which, by the way, can I just say one thing as an aside? Can I just say one thing as an aside?
Yeah.
I told you I won the war against this Kenny Atkinson.
See,
there
you go.
$100,000 for his antics. That's why you have an enemy for life.
Did you win the war?
I won the war. Absolutely.
How did you win the war?
But they won the game.
You didn't win the game.
That was the battle. But I won the war. No, that was the battle. So I won the battle, but his antics didn't pay off, and now he's broke. So I won the war, Kenny Atkinson.
I mean, is he broke or the Cavaliers had to pay that?
I don't know who pays it. But the point is, they were fined $100,000 because people knew this could not stand.
If I'm going to win, I'll pay that hundo.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And egregious.
If you win all 82 games like that, that's only 8.2 million. Your team is worth billions.
I don't think you just did math.
What?
Well, they didn't win all 82 games.
I said if you were to win all 82 games, you'd pay 100,000.
Well, they didn't though, because
I know. I'm just
this
saying
is why I won the war, because his stupid plan didn't work.
He beat you.
Half worked. Well, he won the battle, but not the war.
How do you not win the war?
Because he lost to the Raptors the next day.
That doesn't mean anything, but they beat
totally
the Heat.
Means everything.
They beat the Heat.
You went out here trying to gimmick the system, and your gimmick did not work.
It did. It beat you.
No, it only half worked.
So when did you all of a sudden become who did they play? Orlando or
Raptors?
They play the Raptors. Who are
Toronto? Wait, now you're a Raptors fan?
No, I'm not a Raptors fan. I'm just telling you, he didn't win the war. That's why he has an enemy for life.
No, Tobin's not a Raptor fan, but I will give Tobin credit. Tobin said the Raptors are a pretty good team, and they have a slate of games where they can eat up. So, they started off slow, but they are playing very good basketball right now.
I like their coach, too, just because he has an accent.
You love anybody with an accent.
Yeah.
Rajakovic, that guy's great. He's the best. This guy is complete the BS.
That's funny. They just learn English and they learn the cuss words first.
Steph Curry is a player it's a privilege for all of us to live in an era and to work in this era in NBA when he's playing. I can't wait for him to retire. I'm going to get drunk that night. I promise you that. I'm going to celebrate.
It's a complete crap.
Man.
Wait, can anybody take him serious with that accent, though?
I can. I take it very serious.
Thank you, Doug. That's outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible that Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. And what's happening over here during whole season, I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap.
I love him. He's great.
I agree with everything he said.
Said too, Scotty Barnes is going to be the face of the league.
The face of the league.
If Scotty Barnes came and slapped me in the face, I'm like, who did that?
Darko, too much.
Scotty Barnes not even the face of his own team.
He got excited. It was a couple of years ago. He got excited. I like him.
Yeah. It's hard to find somebody you like.
Because he has an accent, Leroy. That's all.
Yeah.
That's a great accent, though.
I
You'd
got
agree.
you.
You
I
guys
got
would
you.
agree.
That's why he likes Gogi.
Gogi's got a great accent.
Jović.
Jović doesn't even have a crazy thick accent. Not like Gogi.
I mean, Yakachonis has one.
A little bit.
He's a turnover machine.
Let me tell you something. This Yakachonis. Woof.
Oh yeah. So yesterday you watched him in the preseason, right? Sioux Falls, G League. I'm sorry.
So he starts off. He turns the ball over willy nilly. Right. Two
That's
turnovers.
what they said when he came out of college.
Yeah, but these are bad. Like, it's not wild passes. He's just yakking up the basketball left and right.
Oh, so he don't have good ball skills.
He hasn't shown good ball skills early in his G League.
Yeah, so that's what he got to work on.
And then the thing that was crazy. So he has and I maybe mushed him yesterday because he had this one stint. Dane Danger played really well yesterday. Coach Dan Bisacchio had the Sky Force really flowing. By the way, second game in a row I've tuned into a G League game. And you had a Canes legend in there. Norchad O'Meara plays for the Cleveland.
Chargers,
I think they're called. And so I'm watching this game. Ethan Thompson balled out for the Sky Force. He was great. So it was, it's not that weren't good performances. But this Yakachonis, he has this one stint in the second quarter where he scores 3 straight baskets. And then I get annoyed because I'm looking at the Sky Force's box score and it's not updating. And I'm really frustrated because I'm like, hey, South Dakota, get your computer right. And so I kept looking at it and I couldn't get final numbers on what his statistics were, but I knew he scored at least 3 baskets. Either way, the problem was, not the missed shots. The turnovers were annoying. But I think, and I don't have confirmation of this because we don't do, I don't think they do Sioux Falls media as far as I know. But Leroy, this is 2 games in a row. This Yakachonis has lost his mind on the officials.
Really? So he's a crybaby.
And maybe. I can't put a verdict on that. So I'm watching the game and I didn't really notice this until this morning, but he's whining about a call and he just goes to the official and he gets teed up. And the game was tied at the time. It was the end of the third quarter. And that allowed Cleveland to go up. And then I'm like, man, Yakachonis hasn't played in a while. And then I'm like, oh, he didn't play all the fourth quarter. That seemed like a disciplinary benching.
You got disciplinary benched in the G League?
I think he did. I can't confirm, but I think he got disciplinary benched by Dan Bisacchio.
Now,
because he was
my question is, some of the things you're talking about you're seeing in the G League, we didn't see when he played in preseason.
No, we did not. But that's part of it. He hasn't played a game in months or several weeks at least.
Right.
So maybe he's just rusty. But it wasn't like the last game they got the doors blown off him. The game stunk. This game they played a really good. They lost by 1, but it was a competitive game. And the Skyforce were winning most of the time. But he had this one good stint in the second quarter, and the rest of it was But I think he got benched. I can't confirm. I don't know. But I think that Dan Bisacchio said, hey, Yakachonis, sit your ass down and stop yelling at the referees.
I'd ask somebody else who watched the game, but you might be the only one.
It sounds as Tobin's going to ask a question to break up the Skyforce now. I think he probably told Kasparis, he goes, hey, Dan Bisacchio sitting and goes, hey, Kasparis, come over here. He goes, yes, coach, what? You're not that guy, pal. You can't be sitting here. You're not G League Luca. Sit your ass down.
You call him G League Luca. Hey, woohoo! I did that. Hey, by the way, I did that one time during Fonz's rec league days. They had a kid on his team that he was a ball hog and he kept chucking up threes, and he finally made one, and then he did 3 goggles. And I'm like, you won for 8. So I started spitting out his stats. I'm like, hey, this is the rec league. You ain't in travel league. You ain't make that team. Let's go. Share the ball.
Take a break. It's back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take guys up until 2 here on the program. Sports Talk on WQAM is presented by Paramount Plus. Can't count on much these days, Leroy. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. I heard we're doing those ads for that Landman. I started watching that show. That show is just Billy Bob Thornton with one-liners, basically in a Texas accent the entire show. Can't get enough of it, though. Love it. Love it.
He's been out for a while, right?
Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah.
Well, it's season 2, so he was doing he did the previous season. I don't know what he was doing before that. I think he did Fargo. Didn't he do a season of Fargo? I think he did one time. You know, he shows up. He kind of pops up, does his thing whenever. But it's basically just quippy one-liners. Kind of a lot like Tulsa King, to be honest with you. Except it's in Texas, and instead of running the mafia, it's about oil. Demi Moore is doing a lot more this season because, spoiler alert, again, spoiler alert, her husband, John Hamm, dies at the end for season 1. So now she's taking over the oil company.
Wait, why did John Hamm die?
Heart attack. Too much stress being the landman. Well, he wasn't the landman, being the oil CEO. And while he died, spoiler alert, Jerry Jones stopped by the hospital. And Jerry Jones gave one of the all-time monologues talking about his life. And we didn't realize that Jerry Jones is quite the thespian.
How are you gonna say that? The guy doesn't even know the difference between a ballet and a play.
Does he not?
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know that. Well, I mean, he's good about talking about himself. I mean, as Jerry Jones is definitely an expert at that. Nick T says Tobin is John Honeyham.
That was good.
Well, I like honey ham cold cuts. I don't like honey ham like a honey baked ham.
But that's the best ham.
I disagree, dude.
For sandwiches afterwards?
No.
That Thanksgiving ham the next day? Delicious.
Anyway, before we got deterred on how Tobin likes Petty Hub, Paul Finebaum, we never got to play his clip. He is upset with the playoff committee also at Notre Dame.
There is a bias. Let's just go ahead and admit it. And this committee, I have no earthly idea why they can't move beyond it because they're supposed to be objective. But it just seems like let's always give Notre Dame the loss. And I feel badly for Miami. They got knocked out last year. They were the last team out along with Alabama. They did some of it to themselves, but they beat Notre Dame. Shouldn't head-to-head matter in college football or in any sporting event? But apparently to this committee, it does not matter at all.
Wow, I really feel like the meme. You ever see the meme of the worst person you know makes a great point? I don't like my ally here, but wow, good job, Paul Finebaum. I saw there was this quote yesterday from one of these yahoos who's like putting the committee together, and they were asked about the head-to-head between Miami and Notre Dame, and it was basically like they hit us with a we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, and I was like. So it doesn't matter now, but it will matter. Like, that's where we're at.
Yeah, I agree with them.
Yeah.
Because let the season finish out, and if they both have the same amount of losses, then the head-to-head is going to matter.
I just think to get caught up in this now doesn't matter. But what's happening is, if you notice, they're moving them closer and closer together.
Same cluster.
Right. So that when it gets to that point, I think they will make that move. So from that standpoint, until it doesn't happen, to do it with 2 more games left, let's just wait before we act. The playoffs don't start this week.
This was CFP committee chair, Hunter Yurachek.
Oh, we know what he is.
Oh, God. Come on, Hunter?
Hunter.
Your first name is Hunter.
Hey.
That name Hunter is a
No
last name.
Hey, no
That's a last name.
non-intangibles named Hunter.
That's a last name for us.
Last name.
His
Absolutely.
last name Hunter, Torrey Hunter.
Last name.
Paul Hunter. Yeah. Hunter is a last name for us, not a first name.
This is what he said. I think when you look at it, Reese, at Notre Dame and Miami, we really compare the losses of those two teams. Miami has lost to two unranked teams. Notre Dame has lost to two teams that are ranked in our top 13. So we really haven't compared those two teams. They haven't been in similar comparative tools or competitive pools to date. But Miami is creeping up to the range where they will be compared to Notre Dame if something happens above them. On the head-to-head, he says, I think you look at what happened this week when we compared Alabama and Oklahoma in a similar spot where 8, 9, 10, we were comparing those teams. Oklahoma obviously got the nod with their 2-point win at Alabama. So if Miami and Notre Dame are in a comparable tier and a comparable range, the head-to-head will be a significant data point. That
Can I tell you what they're doing? You want me to tell you what they're doing?
They're letting everything play out.
No. I'm going to tell you what they're saying, Vlad. We don't trust Miami going to win the last two games anyway, so it's not going to matter.
Leroy, you took my point exactly right before.
That's if you want to know what if you want to know what the committee is saying, that's what the committee is saying.
I've seen it before in the past couple of years that
Correct.
Miami will stumble down the stretch.
Correct.
So before I put them in any pool with other teams, let me see how they finish out these last two games. Because if they win, then I can compare them against Notre Dame, and
Correct.
the win against Notre Dame will matter.
Yes.
But by their history, let us wait. I agree. That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what they're saying. Like you can read however you want into it. You can read we get in the shaft. You can read nothing. Here's what the committee is saying. Don't put Miami above Notre Dame till they win the last two games. Then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But they haven't proven that they can finish out the season strong. So it'll be a moot point.
And they didn't do that last season.
Yeah, but what if nothing? Even if they win their last two games, they're not guaranteed to get into the conference championship.
They're going above Notre Dame.
They could still
they
get.
will
They could
move
still
above
get,
Notre Dame.
That's what the hope is, but we don't know that.
You do know
Because
that.
they could go there. They could say, "Well, you don't."
He just basically said this.
No, what he
Dude,
did was.
Why do you listen? Why you have selective hearing?
Okay, I don't have selective hearing.
You do.
I was reading. But what's to stop them from saying that? Because they said already, well, we're not comparing it at this time. Maybe it'll be a significant data point when we get to that bridge. And look, I understand the idea. Miami could blow it. They got Virginia Tech on the road, and they got two road games against two ACC teams. Of course, that's wheelhouse of Miami to blow it. I understand that. But you also have to be in the realm of, okay, well, what if they don't get a chance to win their conference? They could also use that as an exit ramp because they did last year too.
Notre Dame's not in the conference either. So all we're talking about right now, and this is the point, this is all we're talking about. We ain't talking about nothing else. Why isn't Miami above Notre Dame? That's it. And what will happen if Miami wins their last two games? They'll move above Notre Dame.
It's still a dumb thing to me.
Why?
I'm just never going to get over the idea that beating. I'm just never going to get over the idea, Leroy, that beating a team doesn't matter. It's never going to. Comparing losses, comparing to beating a head-to-head game when you have the same record.
Let me explain.
Never going to make sense to me. It has nothing to do. I will let you speak. Let me finish my point. I swear to God, I'm going to let you jump in, and you act like I'm not going to. It's never going to sit right with me in sports. Beating a team with the same record in every league on every planet is always the biggest tiebreaker. I've never heard anything in my life as dumb. And they've been doing this with the sport. I swear I'm going to let you get in. They've been doing this with the sport for years about just making it up subjectively that the way you lose matters more than the way you win. It's dumb.
Okay. Now, let's start with how we got to this moment. Okay. Miami was number 2. Notre Dame was number 9. Or 10 even. Then Miami lost and they went to 9. And I think Notre Dame was 10 or 8 because all the teams were losing. Then Miami lost again and dropped to 19. Okay. So when you look at when they lost, Miami had a much longer path to get back to this spot where they could even be compared. So you can't just say, okay, we have the same amount of losses, we should be above them, when you're coming from 19 and they're already sitting at 10. You already took that deep drop. Now you got to work your way back up. Now they're close.
It's all just a shell game though.
No,
like
but that's how it happened.
Yeah, and it's a dumb system. That's
so. Where should point where should Miami have been? Where should Miami have been when they lost to two unranked teams back to back? Where should they have been?
I don't know. Put them at 15, put them at 19. It doesn't matter. The point is Notre Dame shouldn't be above them when they lost to them.
But it's
with the same record. Because you're going to sit here and build up Miami and say, well, when they won, they were top 10. It's like, well, they were still, hold on. You guys lost to a double-digit underdog. Like, and you're acting now all of a sudden like, it's not a blemish.
So
well, what is it?
So did Miami.
That's my point, though. You're saying that they're upholding right now saying, their losses aren't that bad.
Here,
well, pick what you want. Because
so would you think this? Okay, let's put it this way. If a team is in the top 10 and they lose to another ranked team, their drop is not going to be as significant as a team in the top 10 that loses to an unranked team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So the drop that Notre Dame had when they lost was not as significant as the drop of losing back-to-back weeks to two unranked teams.
But that's just because they preseason ranked them that way. Like it has nothing to do with nothing. They just put them, like that's the thing. It's the same thing with the SEC. They just put these arbitrary numbers to start, so you can't.
All I'm doing is explaining why the situation is what it is right now.
Yeah, but your explanation is not the point. The point is it's a dumb system that, in what world in sports does not beating a team
but
mean
do you
as much as who you lose to?
Do you understand how it happened?
Yeah,
it's not the end of the season. I could understand. I could understand if this was the last week.
Suffering their consequence on that, though. They're not going to win their conference, but they beat Notre Dame. So Notre Dame should have no argument against them.
I can understand if this was the last week. You have a valid argument because we're arguing about the playoff. You still have 2 more weeks.
Okay, so in 2 weeks, you will agree I'm right.
But that's what I'm saying. The commission.
They've already told you what they're going to do.
They said if both teams.
No, that's what they say they might do.
No, they basically
might.
But here's the thing, and like Leroy said, the caveat is they like to see how Miami finishes these next 2 weeks. That's basically what they're saying. If Miami finishes out and wins these next 2 games, and they both finish with the same amount of losses, then the Miami win over Notre Dame in week 1 is going to have precedence. And Miami will be in the college football playoff picture. That's it. That's what they're basically saying. But because of Miami's history over the past few years, it's not a guarantee.
Whose history, though? Like, the season is the season. Like, this is another thing that I'll just never get. Like, they're just making it up. The season is the season.
Tobin, if Miami loses the game, there's no argument, right? You're gonna have 3.
Nobody would say here if there wasn't the same.
So let's have this argument.
Have 2 more losses.
Let's have this argument if after they win the next 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. When they win the next 2 games, if Notre Dame doesn't lose and they both finish with the same amount of losses, that win over Notre Dame is gonna matter.
You guys don't think it's a little silly though, because like if you do want to go back to last
middle of the season,
you guys don't think it's a little silly going back to last year? Like they lose to a nondescript program and their building, and it didn't cost them.
Here and here's one thing I will give you. Okay, the fact that Notre Dame starts so high means that they have more room for error. So when they lose that first week or lose to that stinker and they drop, they're not going to drop as low because they were ranked so high. So the rest of the season, they can build back up. And when the carnage happens in front of them, then they just keep moving up. That much I'll give you. I agree with that why is Notre Dame always ranked so high? However, when you lose to 2 unranked teams and you fall to damn near 20, your road to get back to 13 is more substantial. And now that you're back there, You win your last 2 games, then we can have this argument. But the argument up to this point is why is Notre Dame higher is simply because when you lose to 2 unranked teams, regardless of where you're ranked, you're going to drop so far that you have more ground to gain to get back into the picture.
But again, my whole point on this has not been that the Canes are getting screwed. It's been
how are they getting screwed?
It has not been that the Canes have been getting screwed. It's stupid that Notre Dame gets this safety net the entire time. And that was Paul Finebaum's point, is like they always get the benefit of the doubt every single year.
Yes.
And it's like, when they get a blemish, it's not that big a deal. And it's like, well, so everybody,
there's a solution to that. There's a solution to that.
You're gonna say win games, just like
don't put the committee in that situation.
It's the lamest thing ever. It's
why?
Because this is the system.
You can control it yourself.
Dude, come on. Like fewer people.
You lost to 2 unranked teams
this isn't
back to back.
Dude. People don't finish undefeated anymore.
No, okay, but you lost to 2 unranked teams back to back.
Ohio State.
What are you expecting? Like, what are you expecting? You lost to 2 teams back to back that were unranked, and you can't. When you have those 2 losses, you can't come complain about the rankings.
But you're talking about you're talking about the timing. So if the Canes would have lost those games early on and made it up and beat Notre Dame this past week, then it wouldn't have been in anybody's mind. Like the only thing that they're doing is just because it was at the timing of the game.
Okay, and
you make that game out to be the biggest game ever when those games go down. You make it seem like it's the college football Super Bowl.
The closer you get to the playoff, the better football you should be playing. In the last 2 years, the closer they've gotten to the playoffs, the worse Miami has played. That is not anybody's fault other than Miami.
Nobody's debating that.
Okay. 2 out of 3. I'm sorry, not back to back. Sorry. 2 out of 3.
How much did you love Rudy?
I never saw Rudy.
I love Rudy Huxtable.
I never saw Rudy.
Couldn't tell by your Shamrock undies on right now.
I don't. Oh my goodness! This is why you can't have the Vlad.
Rats on the shrimp is next. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's time for Rats Off a Ship. Abbreviated because we don't have much time this hour. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. You ready to get to Rats Off a Ship?
I am getting to it, but yes, I'm ready.
All righty. What do we got today for Rats Off a Ship?
Well, we're starting things off interesting. Apparently, Heinz is releasing a leftover gravy sauce.
That
How do you feel about that being bottled up?
Leftover gravy sauce?
I gotta tell you, I'm Rats Off a Ship. I feel like the gravy is supposed to be the gravy sauce for any leftovers. I think that's the point.
Yeah, the extra gravy sauce.
Right.
Is the extra gravy sauce.
I don't know if I trust the idea of Heinz needing to bottle up. Isn't the essence of leftover Thanksgiving the sauce is supposed to go with it? I think I'm Rats Off a Ship on that.
Rats Off a Ship.
Do you think that it maybe tastes slightly different because it's like leftover? I don't know. That's weird.
I mean, I get the idea of like Thanksgiving leftovers, I guess, having a little bit of a different taste, but I'm Rats Off a Ship.
I'm Rats Off a Ship. That just sounds nasty. I've never gone to the store and said, you know what? I got some leftover turkey. Let me go buy some leftover gravy. If you ain't got no gravy in the refrigerator, you ain't having that turkey with gravy. Gravy's gone.
I don't know if I like the idea of squirting gravy. Like you're usually supposed to like.
It's not an appropriate word to even think about.
What, dude? We're talking about food. Nobody knows what we're talking about. Jennifer,
No.
what do you think about the Heinz?
No, I don't. I wouldn't buy that. No, so I'm Rats Off a Ship.
Vlad?
Next question. You definitely. I don't want nothing leftover gravy sauce. Nothing. None of that. All right. Leftover gravy. That just sounds nasty.
Yeah.
Leftover gravy sauce.
Do you guys trust Heinz for anything but ketchup? Like, do you even buy Heinz mustard? I feel like I go other mustard. I don't trust Heinz. They got their lane, dude. I don't
stay in your lane.
That's it.
You got one
Stay in your
speed.
lane.
Like they tried to come out with that variety pack for hot dogs, and I'm like,
With the relish also.
yeah, and I'm just like,
I've never had the relish.
I think the relish is a convenient thing. You can just sit that out with the hot dogs or whatever instead of having the
Mustard,
jar.
Separate bottle.
But
Ketchup,
here's the kicker. I've never been a sweet relish guy. I've always been a dill relish guy. That sweet relish could kick rocks.
what's number 2, Jennifer?
For number 2, we have Cam Skattebo showing up to the WWE and getting into an altercation with superstars fresh off his ankle injury.
Sounds like about right.
Well, no. Can I say this? At least he's looking for his future employment.
He's too short to be a wrestler, right? Like I don't think old Vince McMahon would not have
His nickname gonna be Bulldog.
But he does, yeah, he might have not, but he's got the personality to be a wrestler.
He maybe. I mean, I feel like his personality is just banging his head against the wall.
So Danny Dime says Skattebo is walking CTE.
Oh, he is. Yeah, absolutely.
I think like I'm all for professional athletes living their life, but you are just off a really gnarly injury. Perhaps not get into an altercation with Randy Orton or whoever the hell it was.
He's still in the boot.
I don't know.
Yes, he's still in a boot. Yes, that's the thing.
He trying to get physical.
Let me tell you
I
this.
think I'm Rats Off a Ship on it.
I'm definitely Rats Off a Ship.
That just seemed dangerous.
Him and Abdul Carter. I get it. You all love wrestling. We all love wrestling. But don't get into a shoving match with real wrestlers.
Here's the deal, Vlad. We just
you have
made
a
the
messed up
same
ankle.
comment about the gravy in the bottle. Stay in your lane.
Right, because when he pushed him, one guy pushed one wrestler like out of the picture.
Right.
But one guy pushed Skattebo. If he took a bad slip, it could have been
Wow, I'm looking at this video right now.
right. It could have been he could have re-aggravated the injury or injured another part of his body.
All for the bit.
All for the bit.
And then Triple H isn't coming with a contract to make good. I just think Skattebo needs to be more careful. I understand he's a little bit of a wild card, but I think somebody needs to grab him and be like, Skattebo, dude.
Who? It ain't gonna be nobody he with that like wrestling too.
What would Macho Marlin say about this?
Nothing, because he doesn't care about the New York Giants.
He doesn't
Not if it
care
was
about
about the Marlins against the San Francisco Giants, he might have something to say.
But it wasn't a WWE ring,
It's crazy.
I'm
Where are your rats with this though, Leroy?
I'm rats off a ship. Like you got to know where you are in life. You hurt. Stop messing with folks that's healthy.
Jennifer?
I'm watching this right now. It's on mute.
Is it real?
So it looks even more ridiculous than ever. I'm so rats off a ship.
You think it was like a planned thing or was it real?
No, it was planned.
I feel like it's planned.
It's obviously staged, but it's like, what do you think wrestlers and a football player who just basically gets yards via stones? He doesn't know when to hold back. That's the thing with Cam Skattebo.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even like saying this word, but this video gives me the ick.
Interesting. Vlad?
I love wrestling, love WWE, I love my city. I don't love the Giants, but I'm rats off the ship because that was just bad. Like, you can't be injured and then getting into physicality with wrestlers, even if it's staged or not. Dude, you slip, you get another injury in front of those New York City crowd, they'll go crazy on you. That's why they have every right to go crazy on them. Like, you don't got to be involved. Don't have to be involved.
Yeah, but them guys that are in the wrestling, they
And I'll
want to
tell
be
you
a
this.
part of it.
I'll give you an example. Jalen Brunson did that last year, right after he had injured his hand, and then he slid in the ring, and then everybody saw how he slid in the ring, and like he kind of like his wrist was bent a little bit, and then everybody was like, "Oh no, he re-aggravated his injury." He said he didn't, but
of course you are.
Of course you're gonna say that because you don't want to get in trouble. But dude, you don't have to be physically involved
At all. Just sit there and look pretty. Move on.
Rats off a ship.
The only guy to have a professional wrestling career while playing was Dennis Rodman.
No, Karl Malone also wrestled.
Oh, that's true. Man, those are the days. Take a break. Final hour coming on up. Back after this. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you on FM 104.3 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. As the Miami Heat, they're back on the hardwood tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Injury news, not related to the Warriors, to the Heat, from Ira Winderman. The Heat is now listing Nikola Jović as questionable with a right hip impingement.
He's impinged, all right.
Bam Adebayo, he was also listed as questionable. I imagine we'll get a official word on that before the game today. But Bam, this was him yesterday at practice talking about his injury.
You see both sides. Some of it, obviously, you feel like you can help. And on the other side, you want to be fully healthy so it doesn't come back. So you toggle that line, and that's when you turn to the head coach and the training staff. Because they'll know I'll go out there and play regardless. So they gotta save me from myself in a sense. So it's been a hard 2 weeks. So yeah.
There you go. We'll see if he makes his return tonight. 7:30 is our tip, and also awaiting word on the Warriors, who is coming off a back-to-back against Orlando. Their coach has been making a whole dude. It's been the hardest schedule ever. So sounds like Steph Curry's definitely not playing. And Jimmy Butler, who knows? We'll see.
Who knows? We didn't know when he was here. How the hell you gonna know when he playing for another team?
Don't be soft, though.
I just can't wait. Listen, not for nothing. You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to seeing whether Bam plays and what your reaction is tonight. That's it.
My reaction is going to be normal, dude. Rooting for the Heat. But I'm a professional. Boots on the ground.
Are you going to do what he asked you to do?
You mean where I silently boo Jimmy Butler if he plays?
Into the phone like that.
I'll do it for Leroy. What if he doesn't play? Do you want me to go sneak behind the Warriors bench and just go, boo, you ducked us, boo?
That's what you would normally do. Wait, you know what's funny about that? You won't do that with Jimmy, but with LeBron, you brought it on. Bring it on.
Quack, quack, quack. Duck. Quack, 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 quack. Heat back at it tonight. So we got that. The Panthers practice today. They'll be back at it tomorrow. We got some unfortunate news. Eetu Luostarinen is going to be out week to week. He suffered an injury barbecuing.
Vlad.
Barbecuing?
Vlad,
Go ahead.
let me tell you something.
Yep, I know.
Intangibles.
Absolutely.
Stay in your lane.
What?
You smoke stuff. You cook stuff in the oven.
But y'all don't BBQ.
Yeah. Leave that alone. Y'all don't remember the Eddie Murphy skit? Now that's a fuck.
You want to eat?
What?
Hey, that's nothing wrong with him. Just roll him on the grass. That's just second degree birds. That's an
Hey, stop. Y'all look too much, because you see, first of all, you can't be a griller and be a pyro. Everybody want to see that big fire without realizing you can get
Did he pull a Michael Scott and like burn his foot on the George Foreman grill or something? Like, what's going on?
No, he was grilling. Not George Foreman, regular grill. He burnt himself. I'm telling you what happened.
We don't know. I mean, he might have a fancy ass grill.
Hey,
we don't know what kind of grill he has.
He followed the directions. He put some fluid on it, on them coals. It didn't look like he threw a match in. It didn't take, because they don't realize you got to let it sit for a minute.
That's what you find a problem with? You think he uses coal?
You think he uses coals? I would think he's a propane guy.
Oh, here's what happens with propane. Y'all slipping. Propane is even worse because you turn the propane on and you try to use your little grill thing, and it don't cut on, and you leave that propane on, and then you go to another one and go click, click, click. And then
What if that's exactly what happened?
Hey, am I lying, Tobin?
Oh, I've had some fireballs. I've had some fireballs before.
Yeah.
Especially my old grill. My old grill was kind of like on the lower shelf of previous grills, and it was getting dicey. And there was a point where the igniter wouldn't work, so I had to do it with a grill lighter. So go.
Oh. Hey, it's like, hey, you like playing double dutch with your grill. You're like, hey, y'all don't remember, Vlad, back in the day, you had the coals, you let it soak, you let the lighter fluid soak in, right? And then you take some newspaper and turn it like this, turn the newspaper, and then light the end, and then go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Not lie. That's exactly how it worked.
Yeah.
That's how you had a barbecue back then.
Jameson Olive says more on Luostarinen's burns. Maurice said he didn't need to stay overnight at the hospital or anything, so that's good. A lot of his return will depend on how he feels when he puts on hockey gear.
Oh, so
that means he
gloves.
burns flesh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, people be messing around. Here's another PSA. I know a lot of y'all want to dip into the fried turkey lane, right?
I'm very scared to.
Here, there's only one important rule. Two rules. First of all, don't put too much oil in your pot. When you put the turkey in, the oil's going to raise. So you don't have to fill it up when you think it's going to cover the turkey. That's going to make it overflow.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, go get your turkey this weekend and start thawing it out now. Don't put a frozen turkey in the hot grease. It's going to explode. That's it. That's it. You use peanut oil. It's not very flammable. That's why people use peanut oil, because it's not as flammable as vegetable oil. However, it still gets hot. And that turkey will explode.
Crazy, man. Well, best of luck to Eetu. Love Eetu.
Yeah, man. And I wonder, yeah, but you think he was a beginner griller? Because it don't seem like that's something they do where he's from.
They're big into the fish soup, right? Like that's what the Finns like. They love like fish.
You do fish soup on the grill?
No. That's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, does he do that? I'm not saying like that. I know in Finland, like they're all talking about the fish soup and fish this and fish that. So I don't know. Maybe he's not, and maybe like, I'm sure the one who I'd see who's too much chicanery on a grill is Lundell.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Or maybe Mikola.
Amateur grillers, stay in your lane.
You think it goes, Meeksy, how do you want your fish? Okay, so raw. I got you.
What word is opposite of intangible? We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah, one step at a time, dude.
Yeah, when you say intangible, when you say he's not an intangible, you just go there.
Speaking of intangible, I didn't appreciate your guys' lack of support yesterday.
What do you mean?
We'll take a break. I'll tell you guys about this coming up next. All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy back with you here on FM 104.3 WQAM. Get to a little 15 minutes of game day uncensored here, brought to you by the Lexus December Remember sales event. Get offers on select models for a limited time. Learn more at lexus.com. Congratulations to Jordyn Brooks. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
That dude, if he was on a better team, he'd get consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. I do believe that. He wouldn't win from Myles Garrett, but Myles Garrett is, as bad as that team is, dude got 15 sacks to this point.
He's going to break the record.
He is. Think about this. With him being the only guy. Now, Mason Graham is causing havoc too. But holy smokes.
Well,
Brooks has been all over the place.
Yep. He is he's been all over the place, been a great example, and he obviously is deserving of that after a 20 tackle game. So good for him.
20 tackles.
I think he was the first guy to do that since Zach Thomas with the Dolphins.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oof, he's been a monster.
Yep.
You know, and obviously, and the thing about him that's cool, rallies the troops, you know, has his teammates back.
Well, he's the leader on defense.
Yeah. Unlike my teammates who mocked me yesterday because
I wasn't here.
Yeah, well, it was you know, Vlad, I was texting Frog Boy and Jennifer and Leroy yesterday about a dangerous encounter I had as a landscaper.
Oh my God.
and
No.
Just hear yourself.
Wait.
Absolutely crazy.
So I'm minding my own business at the house, right? And I get look at the text. And let me get the exact text because I don't want to cheat. I've
got it right here. This is
He
what
said,
Tobin said.
He goes,
Leroy.
What?
I have
Go.
it right here.
Okay, go.
Tobin puts, just stab the snake with a rake. The dangers of being a landscaper.
Yep.
See, it's the look.
And the
Because
thing is that
yesterday he was talking about
when
he's a
you know-
landscaper
when you
now.
been with Tobin for such a long time, you kind of hear the tone in his head, like that he's giving out.
We couldn't tell if it was an anaconda or a big worm.
It was, dude, it was very scary, Vlad. And so like I had this stare down with this snake. First of all, I had to rescue my dog, you know, because Sunny Bunny, I hear woo, woo, woo. I was like, oh, because Sunny Bunny's not a barker. She rarely barks. I was like, oh, what's going on there?
Well, you know something's up.
Something's up. And I look out the window and I see her and she's staring at something. I was like, what the hell's going on? So it was like behind this tree. And then I go outside and I see, you know,
It did not do that. I'm pretty sure that's not what you saw. You're making it a bigger deal than it was. I've had one of those in my house.
Well, first I said, Sonny, back off, girl. Back off. And so I shoo her away. You know, she wanted to fight because she's going after, you know.
So you went one-on-one against Damien?
Yeah, dude, this thing was a demon, okay? And so like, look, I had to get it arranged. And then my son comes out. Tommy's like, oh, I want to see it. I was like, oh, of course. I was like, hey, stay back. Because things go. And then it starts doing. I was like, wait a minute.
Sure that wasn't the sprinklers?
I'm like, is that a rattlesnake? I'm like, I don't think that's a rattlesnake.
You sure it wasn't the sprinklers?
It wasn't the sprinklers. I definitely wasn't the sprinklers. You know, as a landscaper, I'm very in tune of when my sprinklers go off. So this thing was sitting there, coiled up. And then it's going. And so I'm like, all right, I don't want to take you out, little sucker, but if we're going to get aggressive, I'm going to have to do it.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me explain something to you. First of all,
this
you're
snake
lying.
was doing all of
Because
that.
if the
while
snake
being
was doing
coiled
all
up.
that, we ain't having a conversation. He got to be offed.
Well,
So the
right.
fact that you sitting here still being able to negotiate with the snake means that it wasn't nothing but an old garden snake.
Leroy, it's one of those things where time freezes, but a lot of things is happening in a short burst. So you're thinking of all these things. So after I rescued my dog from danger, and then I have to worry about my own health and safety. And I said, son, get me the rake. And so
Wait, you didn't even get your own rake? You got your son getting your weaponry?
No, mind you, he's trying to save his
stand.
dog from danger, but he goes, hey, Tommy, pass me the rake.
Yeah, I said, give me the rake.
Just tell Tommy to go inside.
well, he wanted to see the snake. I would have told him to go inside, but he wanted a part of it. So if you're going to be a sidekick, be a sidekick. So I said, hand me the rake. And so he goes, got it, Dad. Whoosh. And so he throws the rake, and in one motion, I catch it with one hand.
Oh,
And
what are you, Thor?
Leave this thing out, you liar.
Wait, he just put his hand up, and he just
He's
put your hand
Thor.
up, and the rake hit your hand
One
like
hand.
Thor?
And so
Like Captain
in this
America
moment,
with the
he's
shield.
he's still trying to make like he's a rattlesnake, but I'm like, I don't think he's poisonous. I think it's just your regular run of the mill rat snake, but I'm not sure. So because so I'm like, hey, listen, if you're gonna act like a rattlesnake, I'm gonna treat you like a rattlesnake, which means tunk.
Did you kill it?
Well, here's the thing that sucked for him. He got shish kebabbed. So basically, he got impaled, and then I did the twistaroo, okay? And then I took the snake out of it, but he was impaled. Now, did he live? I don't know what the regeneration of snakes are.
Did you take a picture?
No, I was too busy. I couldn't document such a thing when I was in the middle of fighting for my life.
I mean, if he stopped,
You know, life is not all.
Wait, he made it sound like he was in Australia.
This is
And he was
this is the problem: is you guys don't respect the dangers of landscaping, and so I'm sitting here in a standoff with a demon, and you guys just want to be like, yeah, dude, it was dangerous.
Look,
I had to fend for
Marcos
myself.
told you you were a brave soul. How is that? How is that not supportive?
Yeah, but like he was the only one, and then you guys wanted to come in with the jokey jokes.
No, I put the dangers of being a landscaper. ... What was the size of the rake and the snake? Because sometimes when you say landscaper, I'm thinking you have a rake this big.
Like,
like he's out there with a hand rake?
He's like one of those small ones that he's just like on his knees or something.
No, it's a fair question, Jennifer. It's a fair question because you have your run-of-the-mill garden rake, which is just handheld. No, this was my full-blown, full-size rake, so I could be at a distance, safe from the.
So you were Aquaman, but on inland.
Well, no, because I was a useful
No,
superhero.
you threw your hand up like the rake just automatically hit your hand.
Son,
like Thor.
Get me my rake. Chink! And then just like we're in this standoff.
Then you just switched into your full like superhero costume when
I
he
was
caught
ready.
the rake.
I was ready, and I was, I was ready, just facing him off. And so I'm just telling you, dude, it was not safe. It was dangerous, but now my lawn is free of danger. So
We're so proud of you.
it doesn't sound like you
I ain't
are.
buying it.
It doesn't-
I ain't buying it.
Why would I make up such a thing?
Because that's what you
Because
do.
you love that. You love to tell these stories, exaggerate,
Give
and get our
one-
reactions.
Give me one whopper I've ever told when it comes to the.
Then you said you made it sound like it was a jungle
Dude,
too.
first of all, I'm gonna just tell you like this.
Mhm.
Your reaction to the dead rat in your grill
He wasn't
it was more
Aggressive than this.
aggressive than you talking about this anaconda that was probably. See,
Yeah.
this is where
Well, yeah, because you're making
no.
you're making a
Here's
huge
what
issue
happened.
with the story, which he
Jennifer.
wasn't dead. He was living in my grill. I hit the igniter, and he took off like a napalm rat, out of the grill because his ass was on fire.
So Jennifer,
So can you confirm that it was a garden snake?
this
No, it
is
wasn't
how
garden
this
snake.
is how you have to do these things, Jennifer. There's going to be a time where me and Tobin, we're going to be hanging out with our families, and Tommy's going to be over,
Mhm.
and I'm going to say, "Hey, Tommy, remember that snake?"
He will not lie to us.
He ain't gonna lie.
I'll record the story. Well, I can't tonight because I'm gonna be boots on the ground. But I will get him on the record telling the story.
No, but we don't need you to pay him off.
Because you're
and
gonna
say,
coach.
"Hey,
You're
son."
gonna
I
coach.
don't coach. You can't coach your kids. Kids
I
are
don't know.
honest.
I don't know. Bring him to the studios.
Yeah, because
I
you know
will-
he'll
This is
tell the
another
truth.
thing. This is another reason why we didn't take him seriously.
Why do
Because
you
he
guys
put
not believe-
in the landscaping world, the lawn is the jungle.
Yeah, like Vlad. He making it sound like
that.
he out there weed whacking the side of the side of the Everglades.
Did she just say the landscaping world?
Well, because they were asking me
The grass is the jungle?
what
Yeah.
size was the snake, and I
This
told
is
them, I said,
Straight from his phone, not me.
this is what I said. I said, it's hard to say. He was coiled up, ready to strike. He turned out to be non-venomous, but he was mimicking a rattlesnake. So I'm not here for an impersonation. Could have kept it moving, but he wanted to be the hero. Leroy then says, OMG, you sound like you were in the jungle. Dude, it was a garden snake. Which I responded, in the landscaping world, the lawn is the jungle.
Right? So,
Just crazy.
do you understand why we can't believe nothing this man says?
And then I respond, a jungle for ants? Because no.
Hey, there's pygmy rattlesnakes, but they're usually, hey, Victor, I see more of those on the west coast of Florida and up in Palm Beach.
You guys have seen, though, I've encountered iguanas. I've caught them barehanded before. You know, you're acting like I've never had run-ins with reptiles before.
Iguana is different than a snake.
Well, you know, it's bigger. It's honestly, in some cases, more dangerous. They've left
What,
scars.
An iguana?
Oh, yeah. The way they bite,
so
the way they can do
basically
barrel
you're
rolls.
confirming how small
They barely
this
got teeth.
snake
Oh, dude,
is.
you're crazy. You're crazy. You don't know the pitfalls of iguanas.
No, I don't have to because I ain't going near him.
I'm telling you.
And most of the time when I go close to iguana, he run away.
You're missing the point here. He just confirmed the size of this snake.
Small.
Some iguanas are huge. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
How long was it? Show us how long was it?
Hard to say. He was
See,
coiled
hard
up.
to say. If he was being real, he would actually tell us.
He was sitting up here, you know, probably like, I don't know, probably like a 7-8 feet, you know, something like that.
We would have been under control. Please.
You are an idiot.
One.
You are an 8-foot snake, dude. You know what an 8-foot snake looks like?
Godzilla now.
Something like that.
If you came over a 8-foot snake and you hit him with a rake, you gonna damn near cut him in half.
Dade South says Tobin kills innocent animals. First the possum and now the snake. Yeah, here's the thing though, Dade South.
You
They're
guys
not
are
innocent.
conflicting with me, and look at you, killer.
Okay, well, first of all, they're not innocent. They shown signs of aggression, and they're on my property. I have to defend my home, my
Technically,
dog.
you're on their property.
No,
The
actually,
earth is
technically
their
not.
property.
Do they have a deed?
That's true.
They do not. You're living in my trees rent free.
They were here first.
Says who?
Life.
In that house for a very long time. Those possum, average age of a possum's 3 years. So if your bum ass grandfather possum was around, okay, maybe, but probably not. You probably wandered from some other person's tree. So you want to live in on the land? That's fine, but don't hiss at me.
Was it hissing? Was it?
Oh,
that's a defense mechanism.
I don't believe it.
That's a defense mechanism. It didn't work out well for that possum. He said, gotta go to work.
Hey, we're gonna talk some hockey. Doug Plagens joined us yesterday, but it was fantastic. Got to get you ready for a big week ahead for your Florida Panthers. The voice of the Cats, Doug Plagens. He joins us next.
again
in studio, the voice of your Florida Panthers right here on WQAM as the Cats won a wild one last night. Leroy 8-5 over the Canucks. Doug Plagens joining us here. Hello, Doug. How are you?
What's going on? How cool is this?
Yeah,
Very
right here
excited
in the
to have you.
studio.
Yeah.
Usually we see you in your house.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's awesome to have you. That was a wild one last night, man.
It was. I was just telling Leroy before we jumped in here, it almost felt like 2 or 3 different hockey games in one. The way that it started, the Panthers fell behind early, and it wasn't for a lack of execution or anything like that. Vancouver just came out, cashed in on some early opportunities, even though the Panthers had some good pressure. Stuck with it, as we've seen, has been a kind of a hallmark trait of this team in recent years. They really don't panic, and we saw that again last night. And that's a trait that they've had for a while. And got that big lead. Then Vancouver battled back, and the Panthers ultimately ended up pulling away at the end. So again, there was a little bit of everything in that game.
Do you like calling games like that? All of the goals, is that exhausting? You've gotten used to the Paul ball style and low score. We had this a few years ago when they were high flying, scoring all the time. Did you miss it? Did you harken back a couple of years to a game like that?
It from our perspective, and you always hear players sometimes enjoy playing in games like that because the Panthers set a franchise record last night with 16 different players getting a point, including Sergei Bobrovsky. I heard that from the folks on Sirius XM early this morning. That was a team record that 16 different Panthers had a point last night, and even Sergei Bobrovsky had an assist in the game. It is fun, high event hockey, as you'd say, but I guess we are fortunate in that the way this Panthers team has been constructed and the way that they've played the last few years, even when they're in low scoring games, the Panthers games are interesting. Their low scoring games are still fun.
Yes.
You can't say that about every team that we've seen over the last, over this era or going back to previous eras. Sometimes low scoring games can be a little bit, low event, but that was a high event game. We certainly had a good time with it. No doubt about that.
We were talking about this with you because like hockey, I mean, I'm sure you've been doing your whole life. You've been getting ready for this and all that stuff. How the hell do you see the deflections? You call them so well all the time. These things are blasting shots. It's just little tip by. Are you on binoculars? Like, did you just grow this hockey eye? How do you see this damn thing? The game's moving so damn fast.
Well, I appreciate it, first of all. And I'll admit there are times that I'm having to look at body language. A lot of times, first and foremost, players' body language will usually tell you what you need to know. And that
when they start celebrating,
yes,
or he must have tipped it.
Like if just from the perspective of if, sometimes the puck goes in and out so quickly or it barely goes in the net, and a player's body language will usually tell you that, they know when the puck went in, whether it's you see guys start to celebrate or you see somebody from the team that got scored on start to let up on the play because they know that the puck just went in the net. So a lot of times just watch the players. That'll tell you what you need to know. But I'm very fortunate, and it's probably because he spent so much time in front of the net in the National Hockey League battling with defensemen. But Billy Lindsay has a really good knack for noticing A, that a deflection happened, and B, what that might have gone off of. And a lot of times what's happening in the booth is that deflection happens, the puck goes in, and even if I've caught it, Billy will grab the sheet and he starts pointing at a number. And so it happens a lot. So yes, the teamwork does happen. Billy has an unbelievable eye for that, but it also just comes with doing a lot of games, the repetition. And I think you could probably say that about any profession out there, but you just start to get a feel for how things look, where the celebration starts. And let's say, the guy who takes the shot isn't the one who's kind of leading the fist bump line over to the bench, then you kind of know that the guy who is the first over leading that fist bump line
tipped it.
He knows he tipped it, or his teammates know he tipped it. So you get a feel for it that way.
I got to tell you, I've never seen a situation where they stop a goal. So, instead of deflecting it, they go, if you would have just left it alone, it was in the net. I've never seen that. So, is everybody on the ice that aware of that puck? Holy smokes.
They do practice it a lot.
Really?
Deflections are a thing that gets practiced a lot. And that's why, and Paul Maurice has used this terminology before, but with a player like Matthew Tkachuk, for example, and Sam Reinhart, one of the best in the business as well, there is an art to tipping pucks, but you can take it a step further. And a couple of these guys are so gifted with their hands and their skills with the puck and Chuck and Reinhardt are prime examples of this, but it goes beyond just deflecting a puck. And Paul Maurice has said they almost steer it. It takes it to a different level. They're so good with that part of the game. But in the modern era, the goalies have gotten so good, and the goalies are only getting bigger. I mean, it seems like, we're looking at 6'3" and up for the size of these goalies, which comes with huge wingspan. The days of, a Mike Vernon, for example, going back to the 90s or somebody like that who, was a 5'9", 5'10" goaltenders. You just don't see those as much. And when you see a goaltender who's listed at, for example, 6 foot even, he almost gets viewed a little bit on the smaller side as far as the game goes.
It blew me away when I first met Bob. I was like,
tiny.
You see all that gear, but you're 6'1", slim, and all of these goalies now are enormous.
They're only getting bigger, it feels like. And you're starting to see goaltenders that are, like I said, 6'3" seems to almost be in the middle nowadays, and you're seeing more and more 6'4", 6'5", even goaltenders getting into that 6'6" range, which when you have a guy that big who then is going to have a wingspan that big and then is going to have equipment that needs to be that big to accommodate him, it's tough to find openings. It's tough to find a window to shoot at, and that's why these deflections, especially in the playoffs and in the big games and against teams that defend really well, it's become such a huge part of the sport.
What have you? Oh, go ahead, Leroy.
I'm just, the other thing is it weird? Like, is it just me? Because I don't watch as much hockey, but it seems like they go to the empty net a lot sooner than they were before.
So that it's a good observation, because it definitely has been the
like
case.
5 minutes left. They go, whoa, goalies. I'm like, wait a minute. We still got a quarter of the period.
It almost used to be, if you go back to like the 90s, for example, it was kind of like the unwritten protocol that you'd get down to about a minute and a half left, a minute left, you'd pull your goalie. And it kind of changed. You go back maybe a decade when Patrick Waugh had his first tour of duty as a head coach when he was coaching the Colorado Avalanche. And again, you go back about a decade and you started to see coaches kind of just trust their gut, the feel. How's the game going? If my top guys are rested and I feel like maybe we're coming out of a media timeout at, and there's, 5 minutes and change left and I'm just feeling good. Maybe that's our opportunity and we're going to get the goalie out. And it does change the dynamic in how a game is played too. If a team's down one and all of a sudden you go that route, you play that card, if you will, it can send a jolt of momentum into a team. You might have your group with your top guys rested. You might calculate it to where, okay, my top guys are rested. Their top checking unit is not. So I have a good opportunity with a matchup late in the game that I want to try and tie this thing up. It's not as rigid as it used to be where you would have coaches, okay, minute and a half left. Let's start to think about getting the goalie out and we'll do it that way. We've seen it now routinely. Some coaches have really taken it to different levels. I mean, you'll see it occasionally 5 or 6 minutes left. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and a coach will pull his goal.
I got to get my hockey stuff out because when I ask him a hockey question, he gets mad at me. Right?
You ask very specific questions. No, you have like very situations that
because I'm trying to learn.
That was a fine question. Like you didn't ask like, does that happen? But also, if they're on the power play, does that count?
Here's the other thing.
You got rule 41A-2. Like that's what the things that he asked me. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Did you know if you're in overtime and you go empty net and you lose, you don't get a point.
Yeah,
I'm like, holy smokes!
Yep.
Why?
And that came into play in recent. That's
why. Remember, I asked you about it last year.
Yep.
And they said we need 2 points. We need 2 points.
Which that can happen. And there was a specific incident. We're going way back. There was a game in the late 80s where the New Jersey Devils went into overtime against Chicago late in the game. And I think a guy that a lot of folks have come to know as an analyst, Darren Pang, was actually the goaltender for Chicago in that game. But the Devils and the Blackhawks went to overtime. It was either late in the season, may have even been the last game of the season. The Devils needed 2 points to make the playoffs. So 1 point for getting into overtime wasn't going to do it. So they had to win. And you might get into situations like that where that second point means so much. And you look now too, across the league, that's partially why it's so difficult to make up ground and why really the worst thing you can do in the National Hockey League is have a dreadful start. You want to at least come out of the gate and be in the middle of the pack and at least tread water and do what you need to do to accumulate points. Because if you fall behind to try and make up ground when you have all these 3-point games, especially in a season like this, where I don't know that we've seen, I know a lot of folks like to use the word parity. You hear the phrase competitive balance used a lot. And I think that's almost more of what we have here. And it's that all these teams truly night to night are capable of beating each other. I can't remember a season where you go into it, and I know everybody's going to always say the right things, but you go into it and we can all look at it and we know who the contenders are, who the teams in the middle are. We know what teams probably, for lack of a better way to put it, have a better chance at the draft lottery at the number 1 pick than they do at winning the Stanley Cup. This year, you go into the season, there's like 27 out of 32 go into this thing, probably with realistic playoff aspirations and some sort of expectation that if it isn't met, there's going to be questions that have to be asked. I don't know that we've seen a season like this in a long time where you have so many teams that are in it. And that's where these 3-point games come into play, and why if you fall behind, it's tough to make up ground. I guess it's a really lengthy way of answering why night to night. It's important to try and get those 2 points any way you can. And sometimes you get into spots where you absolutely have to have the 2 points.
First full season calling Brad Marchand every single night. This has been an unbelievable run that it's been on. But what are the things that just stand out about him every night that you watch and you just appreciate that maybe you didn't when he was on Boston?
Yeah, on the ice, the things that we knew with the Boston Bruins, you knew about the fact that he played with that emotion and it was infectious and his teammates fed off it. So you knew about that. You knew how good of a penalty killer he is. Maybe the best penalty killing forward of this generation. Not just, in Bruins history, not just, he's one of the best penalty killers the game's ever seen. Unbelievable hands. And Paul Maurice has talked about this too, but
he does love his hands.
Yes,
Good hands.
His giftedness. He's so gifted offensively and in tight spaces. It's really impressive to watch. And at this, he showing no signs of slowing down. And then you take it a step further, and we're fortunate to be around these guys at the practice rink, and whether it be on road trips, whatever the case may be. For a guy who's been in the game this long, who is a future Hall of Famer, the attitude he brings every single day, he knows when to keep things light, but he also plays with, an unmatched intensity. I asked Evan Rodriguez the same question the other day, just to, he's still one of the newest Panthers, Brad is, because he just came at the deadline last year, but he was obviously involved in the cup run. And Evan said one of the things you appreciate is just seeing how much he loves and just values doing this every single day. And that's something that rubs off on everybody. So it's been special to watch him play every single night. And it's a really rare instance now that we're seeing where when it's all said and done, and the way he's playing, no signs of slowing down. We're talking years down the road, but when it's all said and done, he's going to be absolutely beloved by 2 different fan bases, which is a rare situation for an athlete. A lot of guys might be beloved in one place, have a little bit of success somewhere else, contribute to something, but this guy's going to be absolutely beloved in 2 different places. And
won
you don't
championships
usually
in
see
both
that.
places. I didn't realize how just fast and just he's all over the place. Because a lot of times people say, "Oh, I hate that guy. He's a menace." And when you think of guys like that, they play a different style of hockey. He does, he's that. He's an antagonist, but the style of hockey, he's not like a bruiser or anything like that. It's fun.
He knows the game within the game, in the same way that Matthew Tkachuk. I thought, coming into the year or coming in, I've thought since he was a Panther that there's really nobody who knows the game within the game, maybe who has his finger on the pulse of a game better than Matthew Tkachuk. When you talk about knowing when the perfect time to lay a big hit is, the perfect time to, try and turn the momentum of a game, he just knows exactly. He's just so dialed in. Brad's that same kind of guy.
Catch Doug Plagens Thursday night, Cats and Devils. You can hear that right here on QAM. Doug, appreciate the time, man. Thanks you so much.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to see you guys in person.
Great to see you.